Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
It is that time again. Welcome in a Tuesday edition. Those of you listening across the state of Wisconsin, Green Bay, Appleton, Wausau, Duluth, Superior, we're going to do a little brief weather thing here for southeastern Wisconsin. We're supposed to get more damn snow tonight. More snow tonight, Charlie. You
of course. Great. Awesome.
We're saying like 1 to 3 inches possibly
plenty of
tonight.
Take it somewhere else.
1 to 3 inches.
Texas always has fun when they get snow. Just take it to them or something.
I'm okay with it.
Why are you okay with it?
I got my snowblower fixed over at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, and I was able to use it this last little snow thing that we had for the first time. I was very excited to use it. I was like, yes. So that means tomorrow now I get to use it again. I'm all right. I'm good with it.
I was so excited to use
my
my snowblower.
Hey, man. The other part is being old and not wanting to kill your back shoveling.
That's fair.
And my driveway is massive. So, like, I have no interest in wanting to shovel every single time we have any type of, especially when it's wet snow. Fluffy snow, it's not so bad.
That's my dad's a live by the shovel kind of guy. You know, even lately we've had some beef with his snowplow people and stuff. So he's been shoveling a lot more, and he will go to the grave with that shovel, I think.
My next door neighbor, she is 90, 89, something, shovels everything.
That's crazy.
She has a snowblower, refuses to use it. Her son got her snowblower. Here you go. Use this, Mom. Use this. Nope, won't use it. Out there shovels every day.
These people are like the grocery store to you, you know?
But I'm convinced that's why people live so long, because you stay active, you keep moving. Fair. When you decide, health it, I'm done, I'm just going to sit home and watch TV all day, your body shuts down eventually. I'm convinced you have to keep moving to keep going.
Especially out in the cold, it like shocks your system a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Gets you going.
Yeah, gets you going, right, exactly. There he is, Charlie using over there. See Sparky 5, enough of the weather talk. Paul Bradell, Packers beat writer for the Wisconsin State Journal. He joins us coming up here in about 15 minutes or so. Looking forward to talking to Paul Bradell. Charlie Sounds today, coming up today. I will tell you right now what it is because I know what it is. Jordan Love was on the Pat McAfee show earlier today. Play some clips from that coming up at 3:40. And obviously lots to get to on the Green Bay Packers throughout the show. Talk a little Bucks, got some Brewers conversation in here. So again, Packers, Brewers, Bucks. All three will be talked about at some point on today's show. We are going to start off talking about the Green Bay Packers. It was a topic that we had on yesterday's rundown here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, and we simply did not get to it. And this happens quite a bit. And I wanted to lead the show with it today before we get too far away from that Packer-Bears game on Sunday. Who won that game on Sunday?
The Packers did, Sparky.
Oh. Mm-hmm. You remember the score?
28-21, Sparky.
Oh. See, I'm old. Memory's going, man. I can't remember if I have a soda in here or not. I just need it.
I'm gonna start like hiding sodas from you now. I'm gonna do it on purpose. Make it more fun for you. I'm gonna accelerate that dementia going there, pal. All right, all because of this.
Oh my goodness.
I remember this.
I'm sorry, I had to do it. Okay, so Packers get the win over the Bears. But a large talking point on the post-game show that night here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with Tommy Wirtz and myself, and a talking point on the shows yesterday, including this show yesterday, we didn't touch on it a ton, but we got brought up a little bit, was the officiating that happened in that game on Sunday. But if we're being honest, and that's what I try to always be, is honest, right? My philosophy is, if you don't know it, is always the same thing. And you're never going to have this happen to me anymore because I'm old and past the stage of my life. But back in the day when I was hosting, it was in my 20s, if you come find me somewhere and you run into me and I'm intoxicated, am I going to say the same thing intoxicated as I would say on the radio earlier that day or whatever else? Because, when people get intoxicated, they tell you everything, right? Oh, it's all a stick. I don't believe any of that crap. Story, yeah. Right. No. So that's my thing. Like, you have hosts out there, if they think they're going to get away with it by making crap up for entertainment, whatever else, eventually you're going to get found out. Because eventually someone's going to find you out, and with social media, it's going to blow up, and it's going to be all done, right? So my philosophy has always been the same thing. Say what you mean. Just keep it real all the time, regardless if people like you or don't like you, but at least you're going to tell the truth the whole time. So that's what I go with. The question I have is this. Can the Packers continue to win games and make that run to a Super Bowl with penalties and refereeing the way it has been for the Packers here lately? Can you overcome no holding calls on offensive linemen against Micah Parsons? Can you overcome interceptions being called not interceptions and being called incompletions? Can you continuously overcome this type of stuff and still find yourself in a position to go win a Super Bowl? Can they overcome not only the team they're playing, but also the referees on a week-to-week basis before eventually it might bite them in the behind? Nicolay Law, talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250, on the socials at WI Sports Radio. I will say I'm very happy. I just looked up at the ESPN on TV, and they're trying to trade Anthony Davis out of Dallas. I'm very glad. I'm sure they already did this with Giannis on TV at some point, or they're going to. I'm glad I did not look up and see them doing this with Giannis, because I would have turned my TV off. So I'm glad
I'll let you know when they do.
They will. I guarantee. If they're doing it with Anthony Davis, on NBA Today on ESPN, they're eventually going to do it with Giannis as well. So can the Packers continue to win this way? The Micah Parsons thing. If you play college football, right, you're a tackle. Mm-hmm. You tell me, Charlie Usen, if you know they don't call penalties for holding against the best pass rushers you're going to face the entire season, aren't you consistently holding? Because you know they're not going to throw the flag. And if they do throw a flag, it'll be once in a game. They're not going to throw a flag at you every time. So don't you have a general sense of who they're calling penalties against, who they're not calling penalties against, what certain guys are looking for, what other referees are looking for? I mean, there has to be some type of prep work that goes into this when you're an offensive lineman.
Well, and even beyond that, you know what side of the play you're on. You know what side of the play the refs are going to be focusing on. So if you're on the backside, yeah, you can get away with it usually a little bit easier, especially if it's in a double team or you have the tight end help coming from the other side. I mean, there's a lot of ways to know and game the system a little bit, because if we're being honest, the rule book is really against the offensive lineman.
Oh, cry me a river.
You can't use your hands outside of a little box. If you put your hand outside even a little bit, if you don't pull for the majority of the time, it's a tough game to play.
Turning my TV off. Now we're talking about Giannis.
Oh, and Shams too. Perfect, your favorite.
Yeah. Turn you off. Hold on a second, people. Off you go. It won't work.
Mine's still on. Don't worry. I got it. I'll keep it on over here.
I want my TV turn off. Look at this. Here's the remote.
Uh-huh.
There it is. I can't get it to turn off. There, it's off.
They really want you to see what's happening.
Screw them. Go ahead.
But at the same time, it's a game where you have to play the mental edge and know the situations that you're in, and know that the defensive lineman has a lot more free reign with his hands, is able to get a running start at you. Sometimes it's really reactionary, and part of reactionary football is sometimes going outside of the rules and trying to find ways to hide that too, especially against a guy like Micah Parsons, who's hard to do that against.
Arm up against his neck, and off he went.
That's bad. That's not something. That's not something that guys are planning on doing, even if you get away with it. That's something that just kind of happens because you're getting beat by Micah Parsons, and the refs know it. They're watching it and they know it, and that's why they're not calling it.
Absolutely ridiculous. So I'm gonna follow this up. What would be a more fair zone of where offensive linemen should be able to grab onto the opposing's jersey to make it more fair to the offensive lineman? Since you're crying, it's the world's against us on the offensive line. Okay, so how would you like to see it fixed to make it more fair for the offensive lineman to protect the quarterback?
I would like to see defensive holding get called more often than it is by the defensive lineman. So
defensive holding?
Yeah. That can get called.
They don't hold anybody. They're trying to get to the quarterback.
Part of one of the biggest moves of any defensive end is grabbing the jersey, trying to pull the offensive lineman down, which the offensive lineman can do too. It's a lot easier to do it from the outside for a lot of these guys are on top of their shoulder pads where they can just yank the guy down like that. That's a situation that doesn't get called very often. Over the past couple of seasons, we've seen the hands to the face penalty get called a lot more, which I'm a fan of. That's something that you haven't seen in the past, and this is something that helps the offensive lineman out a little bit more too. And the league has had other ways of doing this. Just for some reason, it's for other teams. Like it feels like the Chiefs and their offensive tackle, Jawan Taylor, got to have that head start sometimes, but not everybody gets that head start. It's a little strange how they help some teams other than others in situations like this too.
Chiefs need the whole offensive line to get a head start currently because they are not good.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the other thing. I've heard some people say, and I want to hear what you think about this. I'm coming. I'm Micah Parsons. Here I go. arm comes around. They're saying, fall down. Just fall down.
Yeah.
If you fall down, they're going to have to throw the flag for two reasons. One, it's going to look like it's a clothesline because as soon as he grabs you around the neck, if you just go down. The problem with this is if they don't call it, now you've essentially just given up on the play by falling down. And I don't know how you teach a defensive lineman to act to go down. NBA has got it down perfectly. Soccer players, they've got it down perfectly. Both those sports know how to flop at a moment's notice and act like they're hurt and the world's ending. I give them credit. Baseball never has that issue. But now you're asking a defensive lineman who's way bigger than a soccer player and is sizable mass-wise probably to most basketball players, bigger than most basketball players, to fall down on purpose to try and draw a flag. I don't think it's going to happen. And I don't know schematically if there's anything you can do if you're Jeff Hafley to help that problem out other than if he's coming through the middle, he probably won't have as much of a chance maybe of getting held as he does on the outside when he's speed rushing somebody.
Well, and the difference between soccer and basketball and these football games is that in the middle of a play, if you get held and you go down like that, the play doesn't stop. It keeps going.
Correct.
And they can go and review the hold and say, oh, it looks like he kind of flopped in this situation. Maybe we'll pull that back. You don't get that opportunity to stop the whole game and then also fall into kind of a free area. In the NBA, when you get fouled like that, guys clear out and you're just kind of there on the ground. In soccer, again, same deal. Football, you fall over in the middle of the line of scrimmage. You're getting trampled by 5 other 300-pounders. That's not fun. So you're putting yourself in a really bad situation, whether you get the flag or not. And then the other thing is I don't think the refs will look at these players. And like you're saying, these are giant men who are better athletes than that. If I see you do that, I'm going to assume you're just faking it to try to get the call. And I'm not going to like that as a referee.
So what does he do? This has been going on since Dallas. Mason Crosby's show had a guy from the Fan in September that said, oh, just wait. He never gets calls. You're going to see people will be screenshotting it. The fans will be screenshotting and putting it up on social media. It's going to happen. So, I mean, this is his 5th year in the league. He doesn't get calls.
And he does what I think he should do, which is just keep going. Keep doing what you do. He's still a monster player. He still has 78 pressures on the season right now, had 8 pressures against the Bears officially. That's what they came up with NFL Next Gen Stats. This is a situation where, yeah, he's getting held a lot. He's still dominating, man, and he knows that.
Hold on. What if you had somebody on the sidelines for the Packers media or somebody like in the first row taking screenshot or taking pictures of them getting held, and then in between plays, posting it up to the Jumbotron, missed holding call number 1. Missed holding call. Just this picture goes up and everybody boo. A referee looks up and sees it. Next time it happens, it goes up, boo. Referees would have an almighty fit. I promise you if they did that.
Yeah, I was going to say, most players can't even go on their post-game presser and say they didn't like the shirt the referee was wearing without getting fined $25,000.
It's some 20-year-old running the Jumbotron.
Team is just going to get fined a ton of money, which I don't know if they're going to want to deal with either for that situation.
I do it.
I know you're petty.
Yeah, but you have come on, man. They got a war chest of money in Green Bay. You're damn right I do until they start throwing flags. Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Can the Packers continue to win with penalties and refereeing the way it is currently? 414-677-1250. Ziggy says, guys, we don't blame the refs for our losses. We don't. Sure, it can be an issue as we saw Sunday, but we don't blame anyone else but our own play. Ziggy, I would agree with you 9 out of 10 times. But that game was as blatant of a reffing job against one team as I've ever seen.
Really bad. Yeah.
It was horrendous. And if they would have lost that game, it may not have been the first thing people brought up, but it would have been top 3. That would have been one of the 3 reasons of why they lost that game. Most of the time, Ziggy, you'll see calls on both sides. Like, okay, Packers got away with one there. Okay, Bears got away with one there. That game there, man, it was one-sided. Like, that was in favor of Chicago throughout that game. And I'm not saying they were doing it on purpose or not, but when it's that lopsided, now you don't only have to beat the team you're facing, you got to beat the referees too. That's a big ask. I don't care who you are.
I mean, Matt LaFleur won a challenge and it ended up going in the Bears' favor, man. That's crazy. That should never happen. I was so confused when that happened because we didn't have like the audio. I couldn't hear it. I just saw they threw the challenge flag. I was like, wait, did the refs overturn his challenge and have their own challenge? No, he won a challenge for the Bears. That's crazy. That should never happen.
No. Paul Bridle, Packers beat writer for the Wisconsin State Journal, comes up next. Let me tell you about my fine folks over there at Wendy's. Did you know that any youth sports player can score a free small Frosty anytime they visit Wendy's in their sports uniform? That's right. Just stop by after practice or with your team after a game. Who doesn't love a Frosty? I will tell you, my kids have it memorized. They know. After every game, it's always, can we go get a Frosty? And it's like, did you win? You what? Okay, we'll go get a Frosty. That sounds good. You made a blunder, you're not getting a Frosty.
You don't get them a Frosty still?
Can I just say, some people think I'm too hard on my kids. Like last night, my 9-year-old is an altar boy, and we had mass, and it got all done. I was on him. I was like, hey, you need to be better. I'm not going to handle this. You're going to have to be better next mass. Right. And he's looking at me. He's like, what? I was like, this was his 3rd or 4th mass he's ever been an altar boy at, right? He's 9. And I was just like, he's like, what? I was like, man, I was like, you were one of 3 altar people up on that altar, right? There were 3 boys, one bigger boy that I'm guessing was older based on size, and then another kid that was about his size, and him. And as you're watching the match, you can blatantly see the other 2 are like looking at him for guidance as to what to do because he's done more of these. And he was doing the best he could, but it wasn't always correct as far as what he was doing or saying. I was like, hey, man, I was like, you play baseball, you memorize stuff for baseball and all this stuff. You need to memorize this mass and be on point going forward. They got a ton of ultra servers, but they're all brand new because they really didn't have a program before this. They just started it. It's like, so you've got to kind of be a leader here and show these guys how to do it. Okay, Dad. Okay. Well, can I be the altar boy this weekend then too, so I can get some more practice before Christmas? Yeah, sure. We'll sign you up. So I'm hard.
If you take him in like his robes after a mass, does he get a free Frosty then too? Do you think that counts as a uniform? Like
they don't let you take that out of.
If you explain to them it's for a free Frosty, I think they'll understand.
I don't know.
If you get the priest a free Frosty too, maybe he'll be more lenient.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Paul Bridle, Packers beat writer for the Wisconsin State Journal, comes up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.
Matthew Golden checks in. That wide receiver, he's missed the last 3 games. The speedy rookie, Love, loading up, going deep, down the field, has a man, it's caught! Touchdown, Bo Melton and the pack.
Just an absolute mix-up in coverage in zone. And here's Melton in the slot. It's kind of a variation of cover 2, but there's nobody on the back half of the field. And that's where Melton gets to. Love feels it. Enough time in the pocket with the pressure for Love to sit on his back foot and drop a dime right before half.
There you go. Highlight courtesy of Fox as the Packers, they won. They did. They beat the Chicago Bears 28-21. Joining us now on the guest hotline here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. He is Paul Brettel, guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. Paul, how are you doing today? How are things at the Wisconsin State Journal?
Going great. I appreciate you asking. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So did you have on your bingo card Bo Melton getting a touchdown pass before Matthew Golden this year?
I did not. And I think even Bo Melton, I'm not sure he saw it coming. In the locker room, he said, going into, the week of prep and going into Sunday's game, he didn't think he was going to be the one catching a touchdown. But what's interesting is how that play unfolded. Christian Watson said that the play before that, they ran the same exact play. Christian Watson ran the same route that Bo Melton did, and Love acknowledged to Watson on the sideline after the fact that he didn't see Watson until it was too late. So they dialed up the same exact play. Melton came in for Watson and obviously made the big touchdown grab. And I think what really stood out to me about that was after the fact, when you see the players on the field, the players on the sideline just react to Bo Melton scoring that touchdown. I think it just shows how beloved he is on that Packers team. And Matt LaFleur has often praised him for being a team-first guy. And we saw that back in training camp, right? When he's asked to switch to cornerback, embraces the role from the jump. And then now really over the last month, there were some injuries at the receiver position. Melton's had more opportunities during that span on the offensive side of the ball. And he's pulling double duty right now, right? On the practice field, in meeting rooms where he's offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball, meeting extra with coaches to make sure he's up to speed on both sides. And then not to forget, he contributes to 4 of the 6 different special teams phases. I mean, he brings a do-it-all presence to this Packers team that's obviously very valuable to have, and an extremely hard worker, happy to do what's best for the team. And like I said, the thing that stood out to me most was just the reaction of his teammates and how the pure joy that Packers team had for Melton coming down with that touchdown catch.
Paul, when that interception got thrown by Jordan Love, that was going to Matthew Golden, it looked like. LaFleur said that, there were other things wrong on that play outside of that throw from Love, who said it came out of his hand wrong, I guess. Do we think Golden may be wrong that ran that at the wrong depth or something along those lines? Because after that, they didn't throw the ball at Golden, I don't think, the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I can't speak to that, and I don't have that answer. I do know, I think Golden ended up playing only 5 snaps in that game. Dontavian Wicks played only 6. Matt LaFleur said afterwards that Wicks was on the injury report last week with an ankle. Golden's been working through a wrist injury. Sounded like those injuries may have been a part of the workload that each of those guys had. But as we look at this Packers receiver room in particular, right, now that they're back to full strength with Reed back in the mix, obviously Watson's been at it for several weeks now. When it comes to playing time, what I think should happen anyways, or will happen, is I think you have to have Christian Watson and Jaden Reed on the field as much as possible. Like those are your non-negotiables. Those guys need to be out there as often as possible. And for an offense that plays a lot of 2 tight end sets, which means only 2 receivers, or a lot of 11 personnel, which means only 3 receivers, that leaves just one spot available for Dobbs, Wicks, and Golden to be worked in. And I think a lot of that playing time split between those 3, it's going to be matchup based. It's going to be, all right, what does the opponent do? What's the in-game situation? What's the down and distance? Are there adjustments that we need to make? And I think that's going to do a lot of the determination and heavy lifting for what the workload looks like for those guys. Because to me, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, those are guys you have to have on the field as much as possible.
So I'm Paul Brettel, Packers beat writer, Wisconsin State Journal, as well as ESPN Lacrosse. You can see my pretty face, you can see a picture of Paul's pretty face as he joins us on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law, streaming on X and on YouTube at WI Sports Radio. Adam Stenavich, Packers offensive coordinator, I think it was last week, talked about Jayden Reed coming back and how a part of that playbook kind of got put aside while Jayden Reed was out, and now they can kind of implement it back in with Jayden Reed coming back. You saw it with the jet sweep and some of the other stuff they did with Jayden Reed. My question is, why couldn't they have run similar stuff for Matthew Golden in place of Jayden Reed?
That's a good question. And when the injury to Jayden Reed first happened, during that week 2 game, I said at that time that I thought that was going to be an opportunity for Matthew Golden to step into that role, right? And not just on the design touches in the backfield, but some of those more shorter area throws to create some yards after the catch production from that receiver group. What I think happened is because for a large portion, or at least some of that time that Reed was out, Christian Watson was also out as well. I think Golden shouldered more of the responsibility of being the vertical threat, being the vertical presence within the offense. So I think for at least some of that time, that's kind of where his job responsibility went. But I agree. Like I said, when Reed was first injured, I thought that was going to be an opportunity for Golden to step into more of that specific role and opportunities for him. But I think on the flip side of all that, you look at Golden, but also what that says about Jayden Reed and just his ability to be a difference maker in each of those roles and to stand out and to separate himself and to provide something to this offense that maybe not other guys, can, whether maybe it's not from exactly a speed component, but just his understanding of the offense, right? The continuity that he's built with Jordan Love, the different roles that he can handle, the variety of different hats that he can wear. So again, I think a lot of that speaks to Jayden Reed himself and his impact on this team.
How about these numbers? Christian Watson, when playing in the slot, 9 catches on 12 targets, 193 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3.33 yards per route run. Do we see more of that going forward? Because if we're being honest, it's always been the talk of Jayden Reed or Romeo Doubs or whatever, but having a big guy like Christian Watson playing in there and having that type of impact could really be a game changer, I think, against opposing defenses.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's certainly something LaFleur and the coaching staff are going to have to look into. How do you get him more opportunities in the slot? And I think just in general, how do you get Christian Watson more touches? I mean, what he's done since returning from this injury has been so impressive. I mean, his first game back against Pittsburgh, I think he had over 80 receiving yards in that game. Yeah. He had 2 touchdowns against the Giants. I think he had an 80-yard performance against Detroit, and obviously Sunday's game. I mean, that's the definition of just hitting the ground running, and especially after coming back from such a big injury. But his impact goes well beyond the stat sheet within this offense. I mean, Matt LaFleur has praised him for his ability to play any of the wide receiver positions, such as lining up in the slot from one play to the next. You might see Christian Watson in different positions at wide receiver. You'll see him not only attacking the different levels of the field, short, intermediate, deep, but the routes he's asked to run, he does so in a variety of ways. And of course, that creates opportunities for him, right, to get favorable matchups, come down with big plays like he's done. But there is this gravity that Christian Watson has that defenses have to know where he's at because of his speed. They have to be mindful of his playmaking ability, and that can then open up opportunities for others in the passing game. You add in his willingness, capability as a run blocker. I mean, he brings such a well-rounded skill set to this offense that this unit, it operates differently when he's on the football field because of his speed, because of the attention, then, of course, the big plays he makes on his own.
It's on Paul Brettel, Packers beat writer, Wisconsin State Journal, joining us here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's with me, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. Andy Herman Packaday podcast talked about a couple of guys that he thought need to kind of step up and play better here down the stretch and into the postseason. The 2 guys he named was Rasheed Walker and Romeo Doubs, both conveniently in contract years. We're going to dive into a little bit of a numbers deep dive on Romeo Doubs coming up at 4:00 during our Green and Gold update. But of those 2 guys, who would you put your money on as far as turning things around here between now and the end of the year?
That's a good question. I think I would lean towards Romeo Doubs, right? I think just because he's played throughout his career, not just this season, but throughout his career, he's played, such an important part within the passing game. We talked about what Watson brings and Jaden Reed, but Romeo has often just been that kind of stabilizing force, right? Like in the red zone, on third downs, right? There's this trust and connection that he's developed with Jordan Love. And so I think just the track record that he has, what we've seen from him lends itself to, you expecting him to bounce back. And I think part of this equation as well for Dobbs is, again, you have Reed, you have Watson back in the mix. And like I said earlier, those two, in my opinion, need to dominate the playing time. And when it comes to distributing the football, and we've heard Matt LaFleur, others talk about it this season, like they can go into a game, the coaching staff can, with design plays like, all right, in this situation, we want to get Romeo on the field and try to get him the ball. But ultimately, what's going to determine whether Love goes that direction or not is what is the defense doing? Where's the coverage, right? Is there pressure on Jordan Love? Things of that nature. So there's a lot of variables in play here that dictate where the ball goes. But I think Romeo's track record, specifically just, again, that stability that he's provided oftentimes on critical downs, you expect him to be able to finish the season strong.
I got one last one for you, Paul Brettel. The Packers signed 2 defensive linemen going into that game. And then yesterday, they work out another defensive lineman and an offensive lineman at this point. It appears that they believe that they cannot get it done as far as stopping the run with what they have up front with Brooks and Wooden and Brinson and Stackhouse and the guys that they have currently, that they're going to try and go add some extra beef from the outside. And, of course, that brings you back to the Packers' magic carpet ride years, go to the Super Bowl, and they pick up Green, the defensive lineman, in the offseason, and he has a huge role for this Packers team. I feel like that's what the deal Goody is trying to find here. Try and unlock some pixie dust on somebody that's out there right now and try and get a big run down towards the Super Bowl. Of the guys you saw so far that have played, do you like this idea of rotating guys in off the street and seeing if something can work, or do you have faith in the guys they have, or maybe they don't need these extra guys?
I like the idea of bringing in additional, defenders, specifically, run stuffers, to provide that unit with a boost. And I'm hoping to talk to Bohanna later this week and write a story. And then, of course, maybe a Howard Green reference in there as well, right? But this defensive tackle position specifically, we see Devontae Wyatt's pass rush production, but Matt LaFleur on Monday praised his development and growth as a run defender. And this is a tackle position. The Packers don't have a lot of size. Like Kobe Wooden is around the 300-pound mark, and he has been their nose tackle. Carl Brooks, Warren Brinson, those are more pass rushers. Like if we're going to put them in a bucket of what their skill set is. And then there's Nazir Stackhouse, a great story, right? Tons of upside potential, but that is still an undrafted rookie who has to play, as of now, meaningful snaps, highly meaningful snaps for a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. Like that is a tall ask for any undrafted rookie coming in. So I like the idea of bringing in these run stuffers, right? Bohanna, Jordan Riley, to just provide some help in that regard. Because from a pass rush perspective, we've seen Brinson flash. I think pass rush specifically, Carl Brooks has had a pretty good season. Yep. We know that Hafley will move, Parsons inside during obvious passing downs. Lucas Van Ness, when he returns from injury, is another option. So I'm not so much worried about that group pass rush wise, but I think they can get some extra help against the run. And when you look at who they're facing down the stretch, Broncos in their run game, we know the Bears want to run. Derrick Henry and the Baltimore Ravens, like there are going to be a lot of run-heavy teams that the Packers are up against during this final stretch of the season. And, of course, that's going to be a key element for this defense stopping it in the coming weeks.
Paul Brettel, Packers beat writer for the Wisconsin State Journal. Follow him on X at Paul_Brettel. Paul, as always, I appreciate you coming on, my friend.
Thank you, Sparky. Take care.
Take care. There he is, Paul Brettel, Wisconsin State Journal, ESPN Lacrosse. Always appreciate having him on. Also appreciate going to that Potawatomi Sportsbook, checking out all the amazing things they got going on down there. Tomorrow, 9 to noon with John Kuhn, Robbie McAloff. They'll be broadcasting from the studios on the second level at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thunder Nellis will be there as well. Mason, Human Wednesday, doesn't work on Wednesdays. But tomorrow, Mason Crosby and Tommy Big old hunk of love Wirtz out and about at the casino doing their show noon to 2. And then this show will be back just in our normal spots inside the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook here tomorrow. But Tommy and Thunder let loose at the casino. Whoo, buddy, oh buddy.
I feel like Tommy's got to take on a coon platter on air. And also, I feel like you guys have to bring one back for me, since I have to stay back here and cry and do all the hard, dirty work while you guys have fun. You know?
Well, when they're down there, they'll be on video on X and YouTube at WI Sports Radio. And if they have the shades up in the studio, sometimes they're up, sometimes they're not. If they're up, you'll be able to see that 2,000 square foot gigantic screen where you can watch up to 30 sporting events. You pick the sport, they'll have it on at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I always say reserve your seat ahead of time because they get really, really busy at nighttime. Really busy at nighttime. So I always say reserve. If you don't want to reserve, by all means, take your chances and see if you can get a seat. There are plenty of seats, a couple hundred seats there, all kinds of different variations of a seat. They have table seating. They got like these big, like kind of recliner looking seats as well, right up there in the first couple of rows. Big, gigantic booths that you can get as well. The second level, they have a space where you can rent that out for whatever you want. Birthday parties, business luncheons, meetings. Like, I don't know, man. Like, if you're having a business luncheon, why wouldn't you want to rent out the second level and bring in whoever you're entertaining to be there? I mean, there's nothing more impressive than being inside that Potawatomi Sportsbook right now.
No, nothing. And there's something for everybody to watch from whoever you're trying to entertain.
And great food from the Potawatomi Sportsbook kitchen as well. So make sure to take advantage of that. Again, more information on the Potawatomi Sportsbook to reserve your seat ahead of time. There is a nominal fee. Go search your food and beverage costs. All you got to do is go to Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. Coming up next, lots and lots of talk about Giannis and so forth. And we will obviously talk a little bit about Giannis here. But I have a bigger question. Like, the Bucks didn't play yesterday. They don't play tonight. They don't play tomorrow. And then Thursday's the Celtics. And I'm kind of wondering if anybody actually is missing watching them. Like, is anybody's like, oh, damn, the Bucks aren't on tonight. Oh, man, what am I going to do now? Like, are there still people that are excited to watch this team? Like, where are we at as far as level of interest around the state of Wisconsin? Now, I know what I'm getting myself into, right? I know that north of southeastern Wisconsin and west of southeastern Wisconsin, the interest level probably already isn't the best. I understand. But now without Giannis for 2 to 4 weeks with what they have left, like, I'm just curious. Like, are some of you fired up to still be watching this team at this point? And why are you fired up to be watching this team? Why? I just tell me why. Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250. Still coming 3 o'clock hour. Get back to that Packers and Bears game a little bit more, talking about the coaching in that game. Brewers receiving calls. Closer Trevor McGill. We'll get into that at 3:20. Charlie Sounds of the day. Jordan Love on the Pat McAfee Show coming up at 3:40. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome in, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, Charlie Usen. I wish we could have the commercial breaks mic'd up with the nonsense that gets spoken between Tommy Wirtz and Charlie Usen and myself. And it's not even 3 o'clock yet. Things really get nuts when Tommy comes in here and hangs out from 4 to 5.
Yeah, when Tommy's in his relaxing mode. He's laying on the couch like a therapist's office.
Right. It's all covered up to his neck, looking at his phone with wisecrack comments every couple of minutes. That's when things really get entertaining in this studio. It's in the 4 o'clock hour in commercial breaks during this show. But he just came in here with food takes now. He's got food takes from other people on the staff, including Brandon Sneid. I've got food takes, but I'm telling you right now, 99% of the people on this staff will think I'm ridiculous. So I don't even bother
every
to
take that you have.
No, it's not. For instance, Trell Icy, I'll get to you in a second. We'll get to Giannis. But for instance, I was having a conversation earlier today with Josh Albrecht from Inside Wisconsin Sports. Apparently, he's doing this tomorrow on his brain dump or mind dump thing that he does on that show with Trevor Thomas. And we brought up something about, I don't know, somebody brought up to him about my Christmas trees, right? He's like, Josh is like, I got 2 Christmas trees. And who was in the conversation? I don't know. So he's like, Sparky's got way more than 2. He's like, what do you got, like 3 or what? How many you got? I saw him like, 14, whatever. And he's like, what? What do you mean? So I showed him some pictures. He's like, I'm totally doing this tomorrow on the air. I was like, all right, go ahead. Do it on the air. I don't care. Anybody that's listened to me for any amount of time knows I got a ton of trees. So not that big of a deal. But what I realized was there is a Christmas hoarder show on HGTV or whatever.
That was made for you.
Dude, I got some information. We're a minimalist family.
Okay.
Compared to these people, minimalist. I looked at Kay, I was like, man, do you know how bare this house looks compared to what these people have for Christmas? Like, we got way more room we could be doing stuff with.
So
that we're not taking advantage of.
For more trees is what you're saying? That you still have extra space to not be a crazy person?
But not even trees, like just walls, stuff on the walls and like everything. People are charging.
People love it.
People are charging money for tours of their house and making thousands of dollars at Christmas time on it.
Why not? If you got that much stuff in your house, why not?
I shake my head. I was like, man, we are so far behind. We have 1 storage unit full of Christmas stuff. There was one family, they have a 3-car garage filled with Christmas stuff and 3 storage units.
So are you like astonished or jealous? Like what is your emotion right now?
Oh, both.
Okay.
Definitely jealous. There is jealousy in there. No jealousy of people having to pay money to go watch the Bucks right now, however. What level of interest do you have in the Bucks right now without Giannis? What level of interest do you have in the Bucks without Giannis right now? Around the state. WNFL in Green Bay. 93.9 the game in Wausau. 710 the game in Duluth and Superior. And, of course, southeastern Wisconsin and the Milwaukee area. 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. I want to hear from y'all. Where are you at without Giannis? Because I'm telling you right now, I don't have much. First time in a very long time, I don't have much interest in watching this team at all right now. Like, hardly at all. Trell, north side of Milwaukee. You're next on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. What's up, Trell?
Hey, what's going on, Sparky?
Now, you don't sound happy. What's wrong?
No, I'm not.
You want to
happy
talk? We
about
can
this.
talk. I'm here for you. What you got?
So this is it, Sparky. I don't have interest in watching this team, but I do like some of the young pieces as far as the backcourt that we have right now. The reason why I'm so bummer on this is because I think we're playing a game of cat and mouse with a situation that's pretty much already been resolved, and we're trying to cling and hold on as much as we can.
Yep.
The only reason why the Bucks haven't traded Giannis is because they're playing hardball, which I understand, because Giannis doesn't want it to be known that he wants to be traded. And that's the gray line right there. He wants to go. Don't get me wrong. He loves Milwaukee. He loves his time in Milwaukee. I believe all of that. But right now, with this team they have right now, and at the point in his career he's in, he's ready to go. But he's not willing to say it with his chest. He wants to be traded. So now they're trying to do all this maneuvering where they can try to, force the Bucks' hand to do it so it can be like the organization decided to trade him instead of Giannis asking for out. And that's the kind of the road path that we are right now. But the thing that really upsets me out of all of this, Sparky, is I think we're going to get screwed. And the reason why I think we're going to get screwed is because the teams that have the best packages for the Bucks in a trade are going to be teams that Giannis doesn't want to go to. And then on top of that, he only has a year and a half left on his contract.
Right.
So
Next year's the
Bucks
last year, and then he has a player option, which he'll opt out of. Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
So the team that the Bucks are trading with can say, hey, we only got this guy for a year. Or if they wait till the summer, it'll be a year. If they trade him at the midpoint, it'll be a half a season in a year or whatever. So I just believe that his agent is gonna try to force the trade to the Knicks, and we're gonna get some bull crap.
Yeah, it could be. It could be that, Terrell, where Giannis is like, hey, look, I'll go wherever you want me to go. But the team that's trading for him is going to want him to sign an extension immediately upon getting him. And that is where, the Bucks are possibly going to get screwed in this whole deal. Terrell, I agree with you on that. No question. Q, here on the north side of Milwaukee next. You're on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, Q?
Sparky, I'm pretty out on the Bucks right now. And you know me, I'm like a permanent optimist on this team, but I'm getting some like Aaron Rodgers vibes from Giannis, which is sad because I feel like Giannis is like he'll always have a statue outside of Fiserv Forum no matter what happens here. But it's just really unfortunate that it's kind of come to this. I think the Bucks have done everything in their possible and beyond to make it work with him. And it seems like I hope that the comments he made where he said he would run through a wall instead of going around it.
Yep, I've got that. We'll get to that a little bit later on in the show. Thanks for the call, Q. I got to run for a break. Hey, I want to clean up the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. I got a bunch of texts all over the place regarding different topics. So if you just texted in here in the last 15 or 20 minutes or so. We'll get to that as well coming up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
Howdy! Welcome in 3 o'clock hours. We broadcast from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, Charlie Usen, other side of the glass. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., UW Green Bay coach Doug Gottlieb joins Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor Thomas and Josh Albrecht. Got one coming in here on the Nicolay Law Talk and text line, which you can always use all the time as well. 414-677-1250 says, is Doug Gottlieb on the hot seat after meeting with the athletic director? Well, find out tomorrow morning. You throw a chair. I got to be honest with you. Charlie and I were talking about this in the break. That Doug Gottlieb segment with Trevor and Josh is amazing. Like, it is must listen to radio. Really going to be must listen to radio tomorrow. But it's been must listen to radio all throughout the season. I don't care where you live, what part of the state you're in. I don't care if you like the Phoenix, don't like the Phoenix, whatever. Gottlieb is so entertaining to listen to with both of those two who are also entertaining to listen to. And now tomorrow we get this about the chair throwing or whatever else. Just leave Doug Gottlieb alone, man.
No.
Let him do what he wants to do, man. If he wants to throw chairs, let him throw chairs. I don't care.
I want to know the psyche of a chair thrower, Sparky.
No. I mean, the athletic director. Leave him alone. Leave Gottlieb alone, man. I mean, they were horrible last year. They're clearly better this year. He clearly is figuring out how to do this. Just leave him alone. Just leave him alone. There ain't no need to go crazy on Doug Gottlieb. Just leave him alone.
I feel like there maybe should be some kind of, maybe not go crazy, but some kind of conversation, maybe.
Man, I'll bring him a chair from the studios here if he wants to throw that at the next game. I mean, I'm all for being a team
Am I
player.
allowed to throw chairs if I get angry about something?
Hey, man, there used to be a guy here that, actually multiple guys have been here that have thrown chairs. In fact, one of the guys is Gary Ellerson, former Packer and Badger running back. It was a Packer-Bears game. Favre was playing type deal. He threw a pick in the fourth quarter of that game, and he picked up a chair and tossed it the length of the hallway to the opposite wall. He was so mad. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I don't think I'd do that. But
we had another morning guy here who also got into breaking chairs. Yeah.
Got into breaking chairs?
Yeah,
Like that was the thing he did?
Broke a couple of different chairs. He happens to do a national show in our building now. But yes, we've also have done that too. So yeah, I know a thing about throwing chairs and chairs being broken from my time.
Sounds like it's fair game.
It's fair game.
Well, that's the list of things I could do.
Absolutely fair game. GM fires you, that's on you. That is not my deal. I said I wanted to clean up some more of this Nicolay Law Talk and text line from the where's the one I was looking for? Oh, here. Carrie from Tosa, from Wauwatosa, 414, says, I enjoy watching the Bucs for the same reason I watched the Chiefs lose the other night. I just love to watch sports. By the way, my husband's not a big sports fan. Guess opposites attract. Absolutely. No question. Like me and Kay, there's not a lot we necessarily agree on or way we do things. Like if I decide I'm going to go left, she would want to go right into a parking spot. In all aspects of life, like we completely disagree on how logistically how to do things. How she likes to do dishes, totally different than how I like to do dishes. How I put laundry away, she absolutely hates, right? So she does everything because otherwise I'm just in trouble nonstop. You just do it. You do it your way. We'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
I learned that, I have to, like, if I want something done my way, I just do my own stuff and then leave her stuff. If she doesn't want it done the way I'm going to do it, it goes much better.
Once you have kids, that's going to be all done because then you have to put all the kids' stuff away. Then you're going to have your conflict.
But then you get the kids to all side with you. That's the goal. You just do their stuff your way and it's perfect.
But God bless you, Carrie, for being a huge sports fan. That's good. Maybe have your husband start listening to the sports talk station. Maybe we can get him on board to being that as well.
Date night, listen to Wisconsin Sports Radio
Network.
Over spaghetti. Come on.
Right. Absolutely. Podcasts available right there. wisportsradio.com, or we listen to your favorite podcast at as well. Let's see here. Another one here from the 715. Not sure if you guys have talked about this yet, but I thoroughly enjoyed listening to Tom Brady on Sunday. I agree with you. I think Tom Brady is good. And Romo was good early, and now Romo has faded a little bit. But Brady's excitement level and getting into it is what I really like. And his detail to what is being talked about and the mentality and the psyche and what guys are seeing and that type of stuff. I enjoy Brady, even though, he cheated and did what he did. I enjoy him as a broadcaster.
He's still arguably one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time.
Not on my list.
You're not on my list. Not on your list.
Sorry.
He still knows the game better than almost anyone else, and it's so much fun to listen to him. I wish Michael Jordan would take a page from that in his dumb little interviews that he does, because they're all just about him and not about basketball. So.
I quit watching that, but they're all pre-recorded from before the season.
And then they took a gap just to play the same ones over again.
Yeah, because they're going to go back and record some more, I think. But he ain't going to be on site or anything crazy like that. That's not going to happen. Another one here from the 414. No interest at all really in the Bucks, honestly. If I get invited or given tickets, I'd go, but I don't see myself paying unless it's super cheap. Once Giannis is gone, it will be back to when you'd buy a Palermo's pizza and get free tickets with it at the grocery store. LOL. Yeah. I mean, for years, you'd have companies that would have season tickets to the Bucks or the Brewers, and they would just sit there and collect dust in a CEO's office because nobody in the company wanted to go. He couldn't find any clients that wanted to go, or she couldn't find any clients that wanted to go, and nobody would ever use the tickets, and it would be a ghost town. And then somehow or another, these salespeople for these teams conned the same CEO the next year into buying them again. I would love to know how, coming off a 15-win season, you convince somebody to buy tickets, season tickets, to come watch your team. Like, what do you say? How does that get done? I don't understand.
You have a better chance of catching something off the Bango blimp, maybe? You sell them on that. Better odds you don't have to fight for a t-shirt when they drop.
I don't know, man, but that is crazy town stuff when you have that type of stuff going on. So there you go. So Doug Gottlieb again tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. on Inside Wisconsin Sports. We'll see what he has to say, and thanks for the text messages coming in. I do want to get back to that Packer-Bears game here before we switch to the Brewers in the next segment and the Trevor McGill reports that are out there on the Brewers closer and the Brewers, it seems like, getting a bunch of trade interest in Trevor McGill at the winter meeting. So we'll get to that next. Charlie and I had this, and we never got to it yesterday. This tells you where yesterday's show went. We had a couple of topics we never got to. So many times in sports, when a team wins or loses, you will hear said sports talk show host, whoever that may be, say, we got out coach. They coach circles around us, blah, blah, blah. That happens. Now, maybe not as much in baseball, but it happens in basketball for sure. It happens in football for sure. So I'm curious. Are we giving credit to LaFleur for out-coaching Ben Johnson? Are we going to give credit to Matt LaFleur for out-coaching the genius Ben Johnson of the Chicago Bears? So many of you were hot at the end of the first half for him not burning a timeout, and he just let the time roll. So a lot of people were mad about that. It ended up working out. Packers did what they had to do at the end of the half. Now, are we going to give Matt LaFleur credit for out-coaching the Chicago Bears? Because you guys can play him again in 2 weeks. Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. And not just Matt LaFleur, just the Packers in general. Because I think you could definitely look at Jeff Hafley and say in that first half, Bears didn't know what the hell was going on. They did not know what was going on. And I think you could also say that Jordan Love had every answer Dennis Allen could throw at him, from blitzing and otherwise, that he kind of had the answers throughout the game of what he wanted to do. Did they score in every possession? No. But when they didn't score, it's because he missed a throw here or missed a throw there. It wasn't necessarily because the Bears had him locked up and confused at any point, I would say, in that game. To me, looking at this, it appeared to me like the Packers outcoached that coaching staff in Chicago.
The goal of this matchup for the Green Bay Packers should have been to make as few mistakes as possible, because the Bears have been the best team all season at capitalizing on mistakes in the entire NFL. And the Packers went out there and did that. Besides Jordan Love's duck of a throw in the first drive of the game, outside of that, he didn't make really a single mistake for a majority of that game the rest of the way through. And just outside of the refs kind of forcing mistakes onto the Green Bay Packers at points in this one,
right?
They didn't do anything wrong really outside of Jordan Love even. This was a situation where Matt LaFleur and Jeff Hafley went out there and had this team ready to go and had set game plans and set goals for this specific game that the team played out to a T out there. I talked about it yesterday. Yeah, Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur looked like they had Dennis Allen's whole playbook right in front of them and knew exactly the script that he was running. Every time that he blitzed, they had a play call set up for that ready to go, whether it was an audible to have Christian Watson run that slant route and Jordan Love just nails him right away for a touchdown, or these play action plays that they're running to get the cornerbacks to draw down and have players wide open downfield. I mean, they had them lost. This was a situation where this is a really well-coached Bears team, and they were well-coached in this game too. Don't get me wrong. The Bears went out there and Ben Johnson did his thing. He just wasn't ready for Matt LaFleur to go out there and have an A-plus game plan that the team executed at an A-plus level.
That's the thing about this. And I'm not going to be mad at Dennis Allen necessarily. I'm happy with Dennis Allen as a Packer fan. I'm glad you got taken to the woodshed by this Packers offense. I'm all about that, throwing up 28 points on
the
that
Bears defense was actually relatively good outside of blitzing. Whenever they blitzed, the Packers just knew what was happening.
Correct. Got 3 touchdowns on it. That's the thing, though. So we talked about it last week coming in that I thought the Packers were going to run the ball a ton, use play action, take their deep shots, and that would probably be the extent of it. And really, I said, 20 to 25 throws. I think he ended up with 25 attempts. So we were in the ballpark of where he was going to be, but it felt like they were more aggressive than we all thought they were going to be going in that game offensively. And if I was Dennis Allen going in that game, knowing we're 28th against the run, I'm coming in with the game plan of you're not going to beat us on the ground. And that's kind of how I'm devising my game plan and figuring that Dennis Allen, like Packer fans, don't think Matt LaFleur trusts Jordan Love to throw it. That's how we're going to come in and play it. And then when you do decide to throw it, I'm going to bring the house and knock you on your tail end. And they brought the house and they barely touched him.
I think now moving forward here, it's not about, I guess, going away from that game plan that you had going into this for like the Chicago Bears, but just respecting Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur's pass offense a little bit more. In 25 attempts, he completes 18 of those, and he looks phenomenal. Caleb Williams goes out there and throws 35 times in this game and can't even complete half of those. This is a situation where Jordan Love deserves that MVP style of respect that we're talking about, but you also still have to find a way to keep 7 in the box at all times, which is a really hard task. At the same time, if you can slow down the Packers offense and not let them get those explosive plays, that's how you have to go out and beat them. It takes a great defense to do that, though.
Correct. It does. And your defense has played, I'd say great, but it's been really good if nothing else.
They take advantage of opportunities. Again, they're an opportunistic defense. I wouldn't say that makes them elite, but it makes them good when teams are going to make mistakes, no matter what, at least 2 to 3 per game. Just the Packers only made 2 to 3 in this game.
Correct. And that's the thing, too, when you talk about this from the Packers' perspective of how you win games. It's by playing at a high level and not making those mistakes you were making in the middle of the season when you were struggling. And when they were struggling and they were losing to Carolina and y'all were wanting to fire everybody and they were losing to Cleveland in what we all said was a trap game going into that Dallas game, when all of that was going on, didn't matter because all you wanted to do would be playing your best football going into the playoffs. If they beat the Broncos, I think we're all going to be saying the same thing. They're grooving now. I mean, they're playing the way we all thought they were going to play throughout the season. And part of that reason is going to be because his wide receiving core is finally healthy. And how much more scary this would be with Tucker Kraft would be insane. But even without Tucker Kraft, this is going to be a scary offense. So if they go into Denver, they snap a 10-game winning streak from the Broncos. If I'm the Bears, I am concerned at this point. But the Bears got their own problems coming up this weekend before they get to there. Because what do they got? Trap game.
Mm-hmm.
They got their own Cleveland trap game. So we'll see how this Cleveland trap game goes for Chicago because it didn't go well for the Packers. Now, the Packers didn't face Shedeur Sanders. They had to face Flacco, who, again, in my opinion, better than Shedeur Sanders earlier in the year compared to where Shedeur is now. But Shedeur is finding some confidence, finding his groove thing. The running back is good from Ohio State. So, and we know about the defense. I wouldn't pencil a W on to Chicago right away and say, oh, yeah, this is a gimme. They got this. I don't think it's a gimme.
Well, and I don't think the Bears are either. I think they get the benefit of watching this Cleveland Browns team beat the Packers earlier in the year. I think that helps them look at this game a lot more closely than I think they were planning on prior to the season. This is a situation where I think the Green Bay Packers so far this season have shown that when they face one type of opponent, they can go out there and not make the same mistakes. part of why I'm confident with them against the Denver Broncos is because they face the Cleveland Browns
Right.
already, because they win against that top tier defense. That's what they're facing in Denver, a top tier defense. They can take advantage of that. Part of the reason I think they beat the Bears this past weekend is because they already lost to the Carolina Panthers that run a very kind of similar offense to what the Bears were doing out there. Just the Bears have a better, again, more opportunistic defense, which makes it a tougher opponent, but they had seen that style of offense already. They can go out there and beat that. At this point, I'm not too worried about what the Packers can do moving forward because they've seen all the things that they've struggled with and will make adjustments.
He's Charlie Hughes and C. Sparky Fiver. Here's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I want to make sure we have enough time to get into this Trevor McGill Brewer story out there with reports coming up from Joel Sherman in the New York Post at the winter meetings going on right now. The Brewers fielding calls on Freddie Peralta and fielding calls on Trevor McGill. I want to talk about the Trevor McGill side of this because that has not come up to this point of the offseason. That was some new information last night. And we'll talk about the teams interested because I've been doing some homework prior to the show to see what matches and what doesn't. I got a match. I found a match if we want to trade Trevor McGill, but do we want to trade Trevor McGill? Nicolay Law Talk text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. It's that time of year, the sing-songy, family gathery, baked goodsy season. And when it made the frosty of your holiday dreams, it's a Snickerdoodle Cookie Frosty Fusion made with swirls of sweet, gooey Snickerdoodle sauce and chunks of cinnamony Snickerdoodle cookies. It's full-on cookie nostalgia. So preheat those mouth ovens because the Snickerdoodle Cookie Frosty Fusion is here. And it's seriously delicious. The iconic Frosty mixed with sweet Snickerdoodle cookies, it's got to be Wendy's. Welcome in. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, Charlie Usen, other side of the glass. Going to talk about the Milwaukee Brewers now. A report coming out of the New York Post about Trevor McGill. Now, this here is something else. Because this is a guy that, again, wasn't a household name prior to the Brewers getting him, wasn't doing all this kind of crazy stuff, and now, all of a sudden, is a lockdown closer.
To the count. Suzuki on the ground, got a chance here. Out at second, throw to first in time, and a double play. Ball game. Trevor McGill endures all of it. Leaves Pete Crow Armstrong on deck.
Trevor McGill, highlight courtesy of FanDuel Sports Network, Wisconsin, correct? I believe that's where that is from. Trevor McGill last year, just for those of you not remembering how good Trevor McGill was one way or the other. Trevor McGill last year, 30 saves in 2025 and an all-star, 2.49 ERA, 6-3 with a 1.4 win above replacement, which is a beautiful thing. So with reports now coming from Joel Sherman of the New York Post that the Brewers are fielding offers on Trevor McGill and Freddie Peralta. Now, I want to clarify what exactly is being done here. He does not say they are shopping either one of them. He simply says that people are calling and asking about him because they're all there together, right? So it could simply be somebody coming up to Matt Arnold from the Yankees, Brian Cashman, let's say, and saying, hey, man, I need a closer. I need a guy in the back end of my pen. Or it could be David Stearns. Hey, man, I got Devin Williams, but I want McGill to be my closer. I'm going to use Williams as my setup guy. Or opposite, whatever, right? I want to get this done for Trevor McGill. What would it take to take him off your hands and get him into New York? I think those are the type of conversations that are happening. I don't think Matt Arnold, president of baseball operations for the Brewers, is walking around the winter meetings going, hey, Trevor McGill's available, y'all. Trevor McGill, closer, all-star. Come and get him if you want him. Over here, everybody. Let's talk. I don't think that's happening.
I don't think you keep a locker room that way if that is what was happening. I mean, for sure there's going to be interest in guys like Trevor McGill and Freddie Peralta. Last year's of deals, low contracts. These are guys that those teams like the New York Mets and the New York Yankees and Los Angeles Dodgers love to just steal and try to turn it into something in their own systems. This is a situation where you're always going to receive calls like that, and Matt Arnold would be wrong not to at least listen.
Trevor McGill this year made $6.5 million. Trevor McGill, this was his age 32 season. Next year, age 33 season. 2027, if they play, age 34 season. He's going to arbitration both these 2 years, 26 and 27. He's a free agent at age 35 in 2028. Now, that's, you say what you want. That's old to be getting to free agency at 35.
I mean,
that's old.
Nowadays, when you're a pitcher that is able to last that long and be able to pitch into like your mid 30s, you're coveted. I mean, Sonny Gray is out here because he doesn't get injured. He constantly is getting moved around. He's a guy that is going to pitch for a long time.
Right. Sonny Gray's already had big contracts. This is a guy that has not hit his first big contract until it won't be till 35.
Well, and he's not going to hit a big contract then.
Not
Again,
at 35.
Some team like the Dodgers or Yankees or Mets are looking for a player like this to keep in that bullpen.
Right.
So that they don't have to keep paying relievers, even though the Dodgers and Mets both just paid crazy contracts for relievers.
Correct. So the question is this. With the reports of the Brewers receiving calls on Trevor McGill, would you trade Trevor McGill? And if so, what would you want in return? Mets and Yankees, two teams named as potential teams that have interest in taking Trevor McGill off of the hands of the Milwaukee Brewers. Nikolai Law talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. On the socials, WI Sports Radio, whether it's live streaming on X or YouTube, get in on the Dugout YouTube chat. You can comment there, and our guy Charlie Usen will read those for you too. Always a good way to communicate with us. And, of course, anywhere you want us to be on social media. Don't forget, if you miss anything on today's show or any other show on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, you can go back and listen to it. WISportsRadio.com. WISportsRadio.com, wherever you download your favorite podcast at. Charlie Usen, what say you?
No, unless somebody is really going to wow you with an offer. And I think there probably will be a few wow offers, but I think those wow offers are either going to include a top prospect also from the Brewers or both Freddie Peralta and Trevor McGill. I think trading just Trevor McGill does not bring back the value that you hoped it would. You did that with Devin Williams last season, and you got a starting pitcher that pitched 3 total games for you, 2 of which not really being all that great, and then you moved on from him, and a third baseman who was serviceable. Yeah, he got the Rookie of the Year love, but at the same time, that was mostly because he was the only rookie that was out there all season for basically any team outside of Drake Baldwin. This is a situation where I think you have to be more selective with a trade like that, especially a player that was an all-star this past season, was an important part for the leadership of this team. And we talk about guys like Brandon Woodruff coming back, but how long is he going to stay in that rotation before getting hurt again?
Well, we don't have to say before getting hurt again. You could have just said, Charlie, hey, how long's he going to be in the rotation after 1 year and 22 and a half
Am I
million?
wrong?
You don't got to drop
Am I
the
wrong
injury,
for bringing that up?
He leaves as a free agent.
Am I wrong for bringing that up?
Stop. No, stop. Go ahead.
But at the same time, this is a guy that you have to think about the culture of the locker room. Now, at the same time, if the Mets are going to come to you and say, you know what, well, we're willing to kind of move on from a few key pieces of our farm system. Francisco Alvarez is a guy that's struggled to stay consistent in New York, their catcher. That's a guy where if you were to say Trevor McGill and then Jefferson Cuero, we can move on from the.
They just lost Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
The Mets just lost Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers. So now it's Devin Williams as we sit here today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody feels good with Devin Williams necessarily. Now,
especially still in New York.
He pitched well in the last month or so of the season, and that's what the Mets fans are relying on. Well, yeah, I know he sucked for 4 months, but boy, those last 2 months, he was really good. Okay, maybe. We'll see. I don't think they're going to feel okay with just Devin Williams. I think Sturgeon's going to be like, I want a second guy to go with him. If it doesn't work, I want to be able to have a backup ready to roll. Or Williams is the 8th, and McGill is the 9th. Apparently, Williams is fine being the setup guy. If that's the role that New York wants for him, he just wanted to get paid at the end of the day when he finally hit free agency.
But yeah, if you can turn that Trevor McGill and that need for a second guy in that bullpen into kind of stealing out of their farm system, there's guys like Jet Williams sitting at their number 3 spot.
I'll get to the Yankees or the Mets prospects.
Okay.
But this is the thing. Let's say they trade McGill.
Mm-hmm.
You trust Uribe to close because that's who it's going to be.
Yeah.
You trust Uribe. Because
especially with Chris Hook, come on.
That has to be part of this, right? So if I trade McGill, am I going to have to go sign a closer now? Probably that's going to cost me as much or more than what I'm paying McGill. Because McGill's going to make, I don't know what they're projecting, but McGill made $6 million this year. He's got to make $8 or $10 million at least next year, right? So if you trust Uribe, then the answer is, okay, I'll consider it. Uribe's much younger, right? Electric arm, no issues there. You trust him to be your closer, then I think that makes all the sense in the world if you go that way.
I mean, the Brewers have been able to turn guys around at every opportunity when it comes to these closer positions or the setup man or turn guys into studs. I mean, going back to even just like Corey Knebel back to then, turning him around. And since that point on, it's been pretty easy to find guys. I mean, I think I could trust Nick Mears sliding into the setup spot and him figuring it out for this team or any of those guys. I'm not worried about how they develop bullpen pitchers anymore. And if you feel like that's the case yourself as the organization, then I think that makes it a little easier to move on from a Trevor McGill.
I got one here from the 414. No blue light special. Got another one here from the 262. Keep that farm stocked. It's already good, but can always get better. Jake Endousement. Okay. So I, earlier before the show today, went on a hunt to see what the Mets have, because I feel like that's the most logical. I don't feel like the Yankees have necessarily what may match up with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Again, especially after last season, the deal that you did, probably want to stay away from that.
Yeah. Correct. So I went looking, and guess what I found? I found a player that I want. He's ranked number 6 on the top prospects list at MILB.com. MLB Pipeline, our guy, Jim Callis and those guys. Jacob Reimer, first baseman, third baseman. He was at Double-A last year. Right-hander, 6 foot, no big deal. He's got power numbers. Last year, 17 home runs, 32 doubles on the year, 77 RBIs, 15 stolen bases, hit 282, 379 on base, 491 slugging, 870 OPS, and that was between high A ball and Double-A. He ended up with 61 games at each spot at high A and Double-A. Now, that is a guy, to me, right, that's close. You're at Double-A last year. You played 61 games there. Now, if you're the Brewers, if you make this deal, he, to me, has to be a guy that's coming back. I have to have a power hitting first baseman or third baseman if I'm moving McGill at this point, because McGill has 2 years left. And folks, that gets you an extra player. If you say it's McGill for a rental, what is that? That's 2, maybe 3 players. McGill in 2 years? Now we're talking like 4 players potentially, if none of them are guys that are going to be at the major league level. Now, do I think he's good enough to bring back Nolan McLean? No. Top flight prospect, their top pitcher was unbelievable at the major league level last year. No chance that's going to happen. Jet Williams, more of a, his name's Jet.
He just fits the Brewers, man.
I know
like he just seems like a Brewer. That's why I like him.
I don't want him. No. But if they could get Jacob Reimer, their number 6 prospect, and then if you can go down the list here and figure out what else you would want to go with that, pick out one of these other pitchers in the top 20, I think that would be good enough. I don't think I need much more than that for an aging closer, but I need somebody that can give me some pop at first or third base. That's what I need right now in this system. I don't need more outfielders. I don't need middle infielders. Neither one of those are needed. I need power at the corners. If I can get a young power hitter like that, I think I would consider it. If I can't get that, when somebody's offering me 3 pitchers, minor league pitchers, I'm out. I have no interest. I know that sounds nuts.
You could go down the list a little bit and go to their number 8 prospect too, Ryan Clifford. He's a guy who doesn't have the same kind of contact numbers, but hit 29 homers with 93 RBIs and 23 doubles between AA and AAA last season.
148 strikeouts this year, 160 strikeouts the year previous.
What better team is there to deal with that and try to help him get out of the strikeout problems than the Milwaukee Brewers? And he's a little bit closer to the majors right now.
He is. He was at the end of the year at AAA last year. He played only 34 games at AAA last year. He was in AA for most of the season. Now, again, when we start talking about, what he is and so forth, 219 at AAA, 359 on base, which is still good, but the power numbers died. 395 there for 754. He raked at AA last year when he was there, which means Clifford and Jacob Reimer, I think, probably overlapped at some point in that Mets farm system. I would consider it, but I've got to get some type of power hitting first baseman back, preferably one with a decent batting average.
Sign and trade for Pete Alonso. We could do Trevor McGill. You think that gets that done?
Hold on. I have a text here about Pete Alonso on the Nicolay Law talking text line 414. Why won't the Brewers try to sign Pete Alonso to a Schwarber type deal? For those of you that don't know, Kyle Schwarber going back to the Phillies, it looks like, finalizing from Jeff Passan of ESPN earlier today, finalizing a 5-year, $150 million contract. He's 32.
Yeah,
5 at 150.
That's why they don't go do a Pete Alonso deal, because they can't afford that, even if they want to pretend like they can this offseason, the Pirates. Yeah.
No. And the other thing is, they think they've got the guy in Andrew Vaughn right now. So they're going to give Andrew Vaughn every opportunity to go ball out this year. And if he does, and they think he is the future at first base, then they'll give him a contract extension, leave him at first base, not worry about it, and then wait and see what happens at third base. Because if Vaughn hits, could you see a world in where Vaughn hits 25 to 30 home runs?
Yeah, if he gets a full season, for sure.
I mean, if he hits 25 to 30 home runs, hits 275, 280, that's a win. I'll take that all day long at first base.
I guess I don't know if I still fully believe in Andrew Vaughn at this point. I still want to be able to see that for sure.
Agreed. But I'm just saying where the Brewers are. They're going to give him a chance to go do this.
They kind of have to.
Yes.
There's not really any other choice.
No. So from that perspective, I think it makes all the sense in the world. But if I'm Matt Arnold, I still want a power hitting corner outfielder or 2 if I can find it. Catcher, you're good. Contreras is under contract a little bit while longer, but then you got Jefferson Cuero, another guy that can't stay healthy either, that has been battling injuries. But everybody, consensus, anybody that has seen this guy played, they all say he might be better offensively than what Contreras is, and they're pretty convinced he's much better defensively because his arm is better than what William Contreras is. So you're actually going to improve there once Cuero gets there. The question that I have that I don't have an answer for is, okay, this is all good. He can throw guys out and he can hit, but how does he call a game? Like, that is everything. And you heard Pat Murphy last year credit Contreras over and over and over again about how well he calls a game and works with that pitching staff. That will be a key for Cuero. And when you look at Contreras, He has 2 years left on his contract, just like McGill, age 29 season and then age 30 season coming up in 27.
Well, and I think with the whole idea of calling a game too, this becomes so much more important now with the automated strike zone, whereas people have been focusing on the framing and all of that. Now you have to be able to just get the pitch into the zone in the spot that you need it to be, which is a lot harder said than done.
Yeah, no question. Got some stuff coming in on this as well, I believe, over there on the YouTube and X chat, where you can watch us live stream this bad boy at WI Sports Radio.
Q called in before, but now he's commenting on the YouTube chat. He says trading players in the offseason never seems to give as much on trade value as trading them at the deadline.
I don't know. I mean, if you sit here and you think about it from the Brewers' perspective, when did they get Greinke? Offseason. When did they get Markham? Same offseason as they got Greinke. I mean, a lot of times
Yelich was offseason too.
Yelich was offseason. I'll never forget that day. On the radio doing our show, they trade for Yelich. Like, holy crap. And before we get off the air, oh my God, they're getting Lorenzo Cain too? What is going on? It was like the greatest day ever for the Milwaukee Brewers pulling that deal off. Mitch Thunder Nellis tweets in at WI Sports Radio. Nope, unless you are bowled over. I know Abner is awesome, but I keep Trevor for one more year. That may be the way they go. But you're right, Thunder. And you hear Mitch Thunder Nellis tomorrow with Tommy Wirtz at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. They do their show from noon to 2. Mason Crosby with the day off. I agree with you. And they agree with you. They're going to have to be bowled over. That's why when you look at the top prospect list for the Mets, the guy I want is number 6 on their list at MLB Pipeline. I mean, if you can get number 6 on their list and another guy in the top 20, 2 top 20 prospects from their farm system, I feel like you're in a pretty good position because you'll also get something else. But you want at least 2 in the top 20, I think.
Well, and you can also try to convince the Mets that they're not very good at getting these prospects to work out at the major league level anyways. So you might as well trade them somewhere else and get players that you know are ready to go. The last 2 guys that they've had have either been shaky at the major league level or they just give up on them, like Brett Beatty. And again, I mentioned Francisco Alvarez before. These are guys that don't stick around. You might as well just move on from them. If you can sell them on that too, if they really are this interested in McGill, I mean, you could probably get a fleece out of the Mets here.
Right, and that's what you're trying to do. And Stearns is not an idiot either, right? And that's the other thing. And you wonder how that plays when you're friends with the guy.
He's not an idiot, but he might be desperate.
But Stearns was Matt Arnold's boss, right? So how does that relationship work and that dance work between the two of them trying to get it right?
I mean, Matt Arnold could be like, hey, you taught me so much throughout my time. You know, you lost Edwin Diaz. You might lose Pete Alonso here if you can't bring him in. You guys might need a little help. I got this guy, Trevor McGill. All I need is a couple 21-year-olds, couple 22-year-olds. Come on, you're not even using them.
Guys that are a double-A, knocking the door triple-A that can help this team possibly as early by the second half of next year. That's kind of what you're looking at from a Brewers perspective. Take a quick time out, come back. Charlie Sounds of the Day up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. If you're heading downtown to go see a Bucks game coming up here in the next couple of weeks, I'll tell you right now how you do it, right? You take the shuttle from the Potawatomi Casino Hotel. You don't have to pay those outrageous prices downtown. You can park in their parking garage. It's free to park in their parking garage. Now, how do you get on the shuttle? Well, same day game wager. You make it at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Ask for your little bracelet that you have to wear to get on the shuttle, and you're all set. Or a purchase at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Same thing. If you make a purchase at the Potawatomi Sportsbook kitchen, ask for your little bracelet, get yourself on to the shuttle. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All you have to do is be there to get on within an hour and 15 minutes of the game time. That's when the first shuttles start leaving. They don't end there. That's when they start going back and forth. You want to get there early. And they come back from the games at Fiserv Forum starting in the third quarter. More information, go to Potawatomi.com. And all you got to do once you get there is look for those Buck shuttles, and you will be all set. Coming up next, Charlie Sounds of the Day. Welcome back. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy. Sparky here, Charlie Usen over there. We got to get to everybody's favorite segment, Charlie Sounds of the Day, brought to you by Prize Picks. It's a holiday season, best time of the year for sports, bowl games, basketball matches, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which games to watch, there's only one place where it feels good to be right, and that is Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy, more or less, and daily stat projections set for you at Prize Picks. You name the sport, they have it. Can almost but guarantee you they have it on Prize Picks. So it might be a Jordan Love, more or less on passing yards or touchdowns or rushing yards, whatever the case may be. More or less, it's real simple, and you put together your lineup in whatever denomination that you want to do for that lineup. Then, if you're a little skittish, you're like, I don't know, man. I don't know how good I really am at that. All you got to do is use the code SPARKY when you download the Prize Picks app, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That means if you play $5 lineups, you can play 11 $5 lineups for just $5 when you download the Prize Picks app and use Sparky. That means even if you aren't good at it, it's only going to cost you $5 to get 11 cracks at winning money. Come on. I mean, if you're listening to this station right now, in Wausau in the game, or Duluth Superior on 710 the game, or in Milwaukee on the Fan, or in Green Bay and Appleton on WNFL 99.7 FM. If you're listening to us talk every day, you got some sports knowledge. Like you know what you're doing. You should be able to win once out of 11 times. You should have a good crack at this, right? So all you got to do is download that Prize Picks app, use code SPARKY, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. But again, if you're skittish, use a flex play, man. You can get one wrong and still cash out at the end of the day. It is a no-brainer.
What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, this is Jordan Love from the Pat McAfee show earlier today. YouTube, ESPN, wherever you watch Pat McAfee at. What do we got?
All right, first up, we're going to hear from Jordan Love as he discusses dealing with the criticism directed toward him when he was drafted.
You know, I understood after I got drafted what the situation was. And, you know, I understand, you know, some of the frustration from fans and things like that. And then, you know, as I get there and then A-Rod goes out there and, you know, back-to-back MVP seasons where, you know, I'm in a tough position, but I understand, you know, what it is. And, you know, I just try to do my best to just keep my head out of it, you know, block out all the noises out there, like I said. And, yeah, it definitely, you know, it's a welcome to the NFL. This is what you're dealing with. This is, you know, the media and all the different things that are now, you know, your life. But yeah, it made me stronger, I think, because of it, and it's helped me going forward. But trust me, I understood the situation. I understood the crash house and the different things that happened after that. But you know, it is what it is.
This is the thing. McAfee said it after. That's not normal. Normally, when you're the first quarterback taken in the first round, you know, they celebrate you. The franchise is happy. The fan base is happy. Their new quarterback is here. And that's not how it went for Aaron Rodgers. And that is not how it went for Jordan Love. And Jordan Love, A+, never complained, never sour grapes, was awesome through all of it. So nicely done. Next one.
Next up, Jordan Love discussed his relationship with Matt LaFleur.
No, that's awesome. Matt's one of the best. You know, I think for him, just being an offense guy, being in there in the quarterback room with us, you know, since I've been here, me being able to see him and A-Rod, how they communicated, and now me being able to be the guy. Matt does a great job. You know, he communicates clearly with how we're trying to attack the defense, what kind of calls we're going to go on the field with, and everybody knows what we need to do. And if we're not getting certain things done the right way, we're able to make those adjustments. But he's a guy who, I mean, I don't know if you see, but during the game, he's always there right next to me, you know, making sure we're on the same page with how we're going to attack him. But he's a very, you know, I think he's one of the best offensive minded coaches in the NFL.
Keep that love between you two for the next 10 to 15 years, please. Please keep that love. You can go a long way. See Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, how long you can go if you're on the same page and trust one another. All right, what's the third one?
And last up here, another guy that he is loving right now, Christian Watson. Jordan Love discussed him.
The biggest part of our offense is finding those explosive plays. You know, we got some big-time playmakers, and obviously since Christian's been back and got healthy, he's been stepping up and making some huge plays. And I mean, you can see on that play right there, just the speed he has, his ability to, create those yards after the catch is something not a lot of guys can do. But he's been great. He's been playing at a high level. But like you said, I think the key to our offense is finding those explosive plays and putting the pressure on the defense and taking some of these shots down the field. And guys are making plays right now.
You go back to this offense again. That's Jordan Love on the Pat McAfee show. You go back to this Packers offense when they were maybe not doing the things you wanted them to do earlier in the year. Watson being out, Jaden Reed being out, chunks of that playbook, kind of taken out because Matt LaFleur didn't feel comfortable running some of the stuff he ran for those two guys. Now, all of a sudden, these guys are back and healthy. And you saw it here the last couple of weeks with Watson and now with Reed added him this week, how much better all of a sudden this offense is starting to look. It's starting to look maybe a little bit more similar to the end of that first year of Jordan Love starting, Charlie.
It would just be nice if they could start off hotter. They could be and have just one season where the beginning of the season looks like how they want it to versus the second half every single time. If you can get started earlier, it helps you out come playoff time too.
Do you know who else has been traditionally a slow starter for the last 20 years?
Who's that?
Michigan State basketball with Tom Izzo. 20 years. They've always not started great, and they finish strong, and they're playing hot at the right time, and it's worked out pretty good for Tom Izzo.
Sometimes in the tournament it doesn't, though.
Well, sometimes, but still, they're in the tournament every year. They have a chance to win a championship. They have won a championship. Like, they've done it. So I'm okay if you want to be a slow starter. As long as you finish strong, got a chance to win a Super Bowl at the end, that's all that really matters to me. Coming up next, Green and Gold update, a deep dive on what in the world has happened to Romeo Dobbs. That's straight ahead. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
Welcome in. It is the 4 o'clock hour. How are we doing? In Green Bay and Appleton on WNFL, Wausau 93-9 the game. Duluth, Superior 7-10 the game. In Milwaukee, Southeastern Wisconsin 12:50 a.m. and 105.7 FM. The Fan, thanks for tuning in and joining us and being a part of the show each and every day from 2 to 5 in the afternoon. Don't forget, Inside Wisconsin Sports kicks it off each and every morning during the week. Trevor Thomas and Josh Albrecht. Green Bay Phoenix head coach Doug Gottlieb joins their show Wednesday mornings at 8 o'clock. So that is something you're going to want to set a calendar reminder for, I promise you, tomorrow morning after the chair throwing and all that other stuff. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., Doug Gottlieb, Trevor Thomas, and Josh Albrecht, Inside Wisconsin Sports, definitely are going to want to be tuned in for that one, Charlie.
Maybe we'll get some more drunk stories, all that fun stuff.
You never know.
He's got a different story like every week that nobody's ever heard, man.
Every week.
This is crazy. He's got the craziest life up there in Green Bay.
What he should have done was he should have had an endorsement deal done with a chair company of some sort. Right.
There you go.
That's what he should have done.
Maybe we can do something with that.
Yeah.
We can help him out a little bit.
Yeah. Or a chair company should step up and be the official chair of the Green Bay Phoenix now. Like, there you go.
The sturdiest chair possible. Yeah.
Right. So
this one won't break when you throw it at a wall.
So if you're the athletic director or running operations over there at the Phoenix, instead of getting all mad at Doug about this whole thing, maybe go sell some money and make some money out of this and make a whole big thing of it and sell some sponsorship money into it.
Sometimes I think you should have been in business instead, Sparky.
A lot of people have said that. A lot of people said you'd be better at that than you are at your own job. But hey, doesn't matter. I've fooled enough people for these many years.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
All right. Time for our green and gold update. Now, normally we would play a couple clips from LaFleur and so forth, but they don't talk today. It is Tuesday as they get ready for the Broncos in Denver. That's a second game on Sunday afternoon. We'll, of course, have the Green Bay football post-game show powered by Lakeland University immediately following the game with Tommy Wirtz and myself coming up on Sunday afternoon. Looking forward to doing that. Big game. Broncos have won 10 in a row. There's going to be a bunch of eyes on that game because I'll promise you this. I was looking at ESPN. They have their little power rankings, which I don't really like talking about necessarily. But they had the Packers 5th and the Broncos 4th. If the Packers go into Denver and beat the Broncos, and you would think with a 10-game winning streak, best team in football, you would think I could say and shock the world. But I can't because the Packers are favored in the game by 2.5 points. I can't even say they're going to shock the world because based on everybody, they're supposed to win the football game on Sunday in Denver.
Well, Mitch Thundernellis of the Mason Crosby Show was going in on John Kuhn and Rami Makloff of 9 to noon because they had put the Broncos and Patriots in their top 1 and 2 spots, each of them. And Mitch thought that was insane for them to put them even close to the Packers in that regard, or that close to the top compared to the Packers in that regard. The Broncos look good. The Broncos look like a really well-coached team. The Patriots look good. They look like a really well-coached team with an MVP-level quarterback. I get it. The AFC doesn't look nearly as strong this year, but you still have to give respect to those two teams. And yeah, the Packers are a favorite. It doesn't mean you should take this game any lighter than you would have if they were not the favorite.
That Broncos pass rush is a problem. I'm just telling you right now.
Benito's a dog, man.
It is a problem, and it's going to be a problem for the Packers. And how Matt LaFleur decides to attack this is going to be interesting, right? How are you going to protect Jordan Love? That has to be your number one responsibility and priority, is don't let Jordan Love get killed in this game. You have to. And if somebody is struggling on the offensive line, you better make quick adjustments of how am I going to help said player, and whether that means they go super conservative or not. But you cannot afford to get Jordan Love hurt in this game. You've got to go in with a plan of number one priority is to keep him upright. Then the rest of our game plan will come out of that.
Well, and it has to be on Matt LaFleur to do that because Jordan Love isn't working on that. He likes to run into people. He likes to take those hits and wait till the last possible second to let go of that ball. Matt LaFleur has to go out there and take control and make sure that doesn't happen.
Totally agree. Earlier in the show, first hour of the show, Paul Brettel, Packers beat writer for the Wisconsin State Journal, ESPN Lacrosse, joined us in the 2 o'clock hour. If you missed it or anything else on this show, simply go to wisportsradio.com where you download your favorite podcast at. Go back, listen to any of that, or check it out on YouTube at WI Sports Radio. That works too, where we are live streaming there and on X currently. So I asked him something that got brought up in a Pack a Day podcast with Andy Herman, which is two guys that really have to turn around and step up, right, to help this Packers team get to another level. He said Romeo Doubs and Rasheed Walker. Fair points on both. And I asked him which one do you think is a better chance of doing that, and he said Romeo Doubs. Okay, fine. Zach Cruz, on the other hand, I had thoughts on this as well. Cruz, managing editor and writer for the Packers Wire, senior editor for NFL Wires of USA Today. I've always wanted him on this show. I don't even know what the guy sounds like. I've never even heard him on a radio show, so I couldn't even tell you.
He's elusive.
All I know is he's a great follow on X. So highly suggest at Zach Cruz at Zach Cruz 2 on X. Really, really good. Romeo Doubs, the last 5 games, Romeo Doubs, 11 catches on 21 targets. That's 52.4%. 9.2 yards per catch, 4.8 yards per target, 47.5% success rate. Packers need a lot more there. Zach Cruz then says, don't expect a big change, but when Golden and Wicks are finally fully healthy, ... Then Cruz says, I don't really get it. Just seems like he's lost all his juice. Everything looks really labored right now, says Zach Cruz. Cruz then brings up the fact about Rasheed Walker and Romeo Doubs both being in contract years and whether or not maybe that is playing a factor into all of this. So I ask you, the very intelligent Packer fan who watches all of these games, reads everything, watches all 22, some of you, I mean, I know a lot of you don't, but whatever the case may be, why do you think Romeo Doubs' production has slipped over the past few weeks? What's happened? Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250 on the socials at WI Sports Radio. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer with you. Wisconsin Sports Daily served up by Wendy's. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Can I just make what I think is an obvious statement?
Sure.
He's not as dangerous. He's not as big of a threat to take the ball to the house as are the others around him right now. He's just not. He's not as explosive as Bo Melton. And again, I'm shocked as like you are that Bo Melton gets as much snaps as he gets, but he's not that. He's not Christian Watson. He's not Jaden Reed. I mean, hell, he's not Dontavian Wicks either. I mean, you're talking about guys that can make the big plays and so forth. Wicks, I would take Wicks over Doubs there too. And even though they don't like Matthew Golden or whatever, don't trust Matthew Golden because it's a first year or whatever the issues seem to be with Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur getting the ball to Matthew Golden, even in that situation, if you tell me, hey, I can get a ball to player X, whose hands would you rather be in, Romeo Doubs or Matthew Golden? I'm going to take Matthew Golden. Just being honest, nothing against Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs, great possession receiver, right? Great possession receiver. But in today's NFL, where you want explosives and big plays, Doubs is behind significantly, in my mind, on this depth chart when you start lining up who that is. Now, that has not mattered in the past with Jordan Love. He has seemingly always gotten Romeo Doubs a lot of targets. So that really is the mind scratcher, the head scratcher, and all of this is, dude, why didn't he get him the ball? Like, what is going on here? Why all of a sudden are we not looking for our guy Romeo Doubs all of a sudden, and we're looking around elsewhere? To me, it's get the ball in the hands of my biggest playmakers. If I was a quarterback, that's what I'd be trying to do. If I was an offensive coordinator or a play caller like Matt LaFleur, that would be my job. Get the ball in the hands of the guys that can make me the big plays as much as possible. That's why Dan Campbell took over play calling in Detroit from John Morton. Why? Because he wanted Jameson Williams to have the ball in his hands more. He went to John Morton and said, man, get the ball in his hands. Like, he's a big-time playmaker. You're not getting him the ball enough. They couldn't figure it out with John Morton. So Dan Campbell said, I'll fix it. I'll take it back over. And guess what? They fixed it, and now Jameson Williams is getting the ball more in his hands. But that was the reason why Campbell took over play calling. So if you're Matt LaFleur, that has to be your job. How to get your big-time playmakers the ball as much as possible. Romeo Doubs, nice player. Romeo Doubs, special, next level, that stuff? No, I don't think so. Romeo Doubs has played the league 10, 12 years probably, at least, right? He's always going to have a job because for the most part, he's a great route runner. I think he's a really good route runner. Hands are questionable, right? That's going to hurt him a little bit. But guys drop balls all over this league, and they're still in this league for a long time. So I think Dowds will be in the league for a long time. I just think when you look at it now with everything out there in front of him, and that's even without Tucker Kraft. If Tucker Kraft was playing, he really would have no chance. So without Tucker Kraft, now you have Luke Musgrave. Guess what? He stretches the field better than Romeo Doubs. So that's another guy that you would put the ball in his hands before Romeo Doubs.
I mean, this isn't really a problem in my mind. I think the fact that he's not getting these targets or not making these same explosive plays is okay because everybody else is. Jordan Love has looked the best he's looked all season in these past 2 games, man.
Yeah.
He's looked phenomenal, and it's without throwing the ball to Romeo Doubs. I mean, that shouldn't be an issue to anybody except for Romeo Doubs at this point. And honestly, you could say pretty close to the same thing about Rasheed Walker if we go down to the offensive line. The offensive line has looked the best it's looked in this past few weeks. And yeah, he may not be the best option there, but it's working right now. You don't need to nitpick when things are going right if you're a coaching staff. I think fans are allowed to nitpick, and you can complain about how, well, if you're not going to use Romeo Doubs now, why didn't we just trade him at the trade deadline? Why is
because
there
you didn't know how healthy you were going to be. You were battling injuries at that point.
Exactly. These are situations where it's just take what's good right now.
Yeah.
Look at what's happened over the past few weeks and say, you know what? Yeah, it's frustrating that Romeo Doubs isn't the player that we expected based on his week against Dallas or his week against Carolina this season. At the same time, all the other weeks, yeah, he's still getting 5 catches for 56 yards. It's not that great. It's not that impressive.
Asking you, why do you think Romeo Doubs' production has slipped over the past few weeks as a Packers wide receiver? Nick Laylaw talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250 on the socials at WI Sports Radio. Let's go to Steve in New Berlin. You're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, Steve?
So I'd have to say that the reason Romeo Doubs is not doing as good. WI Sports Radio.
Oh, man. Hold on a second. Oh, he hung up. All right, listen. We're going to go over this again. It's all right. We have new listeners all the time. Maybe people haven't ever called into a radio show, whatever. I'm not going to get mad at you. I'm not going to yell at you. I mean, like, if you're Trail Northside, you pull that, I'm going to yell at you, right? If you're Trevin Brown Deere, I'm going to yell at you, right? If you call the show all the time and you make that, I'm going to get mad. He doesn't call the show all the time. When you call into a radio talk show, just turn your radio down. Just turn it down so you can't hear it. You're going to listen to hear what's going on the radio. You're going to hear us talking on the radio in real time, not on delay, right? And then when you're done, you turn the radio back up and you can hear the end of your conversation. Right? Not that hard. Stephen New Berlin, call back. You can have a second chance at this. Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250. Paul in Muskego, you're next. What's going on, Paul?
Hi, Sparky. How are you today?
I'm doing good. It's a Tuesday. A little gloomy outside, but other than that, I'm fine.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Hey, I know this is probably going to sound a little harsh, and I don't mean it to, and it's not hyperbolic, but I don't think Romeo Doubs is playing with a full deck, man. I think that guy he's got a screw loose. His effort is inconsistent. Sometimes it looks like he has a mild interest in even playing football, and I just don't think he has no emotions. It's like he's, I don't know if his meds got to be dialed in. Again, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm being completely honest. The guy, unless you start him out quick in a game and get him really involved, it's kind of disinteresting to him. If you just watch the game back, it's like, what are you doing, man? Get in the game, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Thanks for the call. I'm not going to go down the line you went with screw loose and all the other things that you said. We're not going to go there. But if the deal is to your point of if he's not involved early, he doesn't look the same, right? Body changes, right? That type of stuff, body movements, whatever. If that's the case, then it's on Jordan Love to get him involved early. Then it's on Matt LaFleur to get him involved early. I tell the story all the time. It goes back to when Sam Cassell was here with Glenn Robinson and Ray Allen. He knew in order to get them involved the way he wanted them involved on both sides of the floor, he had to find them easy baskets early in the game to get them involved. Because he learned early when he was with them, if he didn't, they weren't going to be the same players for 4 quarters. And he just figured, I'll get my shots later in the game. I have to get these two going early. That was his deal as a point guard. I don't think it's any different with Jordan Love. If you feel like Romeo Dobbs' head isn't in the game, if you don't get him involved early and often in the game, then you and Matt LaFleur need to figure out how to get him involved early and often in the game if that's an issue. Or B, he just don't play. I mean, that's the other thing. If you're Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur, it's like, okay, he's not doing the same thing he's supposed to be doing because he's mad because he hasn't gotten the ball yet. Then he sits. They just cut Malik Heath. If that wasn't a wake-up call to the rest of the wide receiving core, I don't know what else you need to see.
Bo Melton got a touchdown in the last game.
Right. Dobbs is a free agent at the end of this year, too. So it's like, cool, all right. You don't want to be all in, then I don't got to be all in on you, and we will move. I've got plenty of wide receivers I can play here. I don't need to rely on you. I don't know what is going on necessarily with this, but if you just base it on talent, big playability, and all of that, he's not in the top 3. He's not. I don't think he's in the top 4.
I don't think so either. I think you look at what Romeo Dobbs is doing right now and what the Packers are doing right now and say, you know what? Our goal has to be win football games. It can't be appease people. The league is too wide open right now, and the Packers are just beat the number 1 team in the NFC. I mean, this is a situation where you have to go out there and say winning games is more important than your feelings.
Correct.
Sorry.
We got JB in the 920 who's highly upset at the last caller. Mental illness is real. I'm not going to say what else he said in the text line. Yes, mental illness is real. There's no question about it. Mental health is a real deal. I'm with you, JB. But again, I don't know if that's his deal one way or the other, so I didn't even want to go down that road. CB, downtown Milwaukee, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, CB?
What's going on, my man? My notion is the fact that the less targets he get when it's time for contract talk, they can negotiate, and the other league will see that too as well.
Yep.
And he ain't gonna get paid all that type of money. What he think he gonna get?
Yep.
And if he really kind of like how the Packers setup is, he'll sign for cheap. Then you got to prove it. Okay, now you got to prove it for that third big contract because you're still kind of young too. So that's what I'm thinking. That's that point of it too.
I think ding, ding. There's your winner right there, CB downtown. Thanks for the call, CB. That's it. I think that's it, which is, man, you are screwing me on my money, not getting my targets. Now these guys come back, and now I don't get a damn ball anymore. My targets decrease to like none or half of what I was getting, and you're costing me money in the open market at the end of the year. Now, that would not be out of left field for a wide receiver to be mad that he's not getting the ball and he ain't going to get paid at the end of the year. But realistically, Charlie, that could be what it is. And I wouldn't – listen, I'm not going to be mad about somebody that's worried about getting paid when it's all said and done, especially the National Football League. The average career is, 3.5 years or whatever it is? It's not very long in the National Football League. So for him to be in this position like, dude, I got to get paid here and you're messing with me, I could get it. But the problem is you're ruining yourself when everybody else looks at the film and sees what's going on. You're going to screw yourself even more.
I find that hard to believe only because the rest of the team is taking advantage of those snaps. Yeah, it'd be different if this was happening and the rest of the wide receivers also weren't stepping up, but you're seeing almost everybody else step up at this point. This is a situation where I don't know if the Packers are in a position where it's worth wasting time, wasting energy talking about screwing Romeo Dobbs out of money.
No, man. I don't think they're trying to screw Romeo Dobbs out of money on purpose. They're playing the offense the way they want to play the offense. They're not worried about Romeo Dobbs'
doesn't
contract.
Include Romeo Dobbs,
right?
Man.
It doesn't matter to them what Romeo Dobbs thinks about his. I'm saying from Romeo Dobbs' perspective, in his mind, he's like, dude, you are costing me so much money by not throwing me the football, man. Somebody throw me the damn football.
You should have requested a trade, dude. When they drafted a first-round wide receiver this year, you should have requested a trade.
Before the season.
You should have been gone then if that was really worrying about
the first-round wide receiver is getting less targets than he is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not the reason he's getting screwed.
You got screwed because the other two tight ends that are on this team are just outplayed you. One of them got hurt, and the other one is still finding a way to outplay you somehow.
And the guy that wasn't good enough to play wide receiver that they moved to corner
is wide receiver.
Is being better than you at wide receiver right now. What?
Because he wants it more. That's what it feels like, because he wants it more right now.
That is crazy. Things Sparky Miss, brought to you by the Milwaukee Admirals, comes up at 4:40. Lots to get into on that one. Toyota-thon, Phillip Rivers, MLB Draft Lottery, Monday Night Football last night. Lots to get into coming up at 4:40. But up next, Charlie Usen and I were talking about the Brewers potentially having a couple of guys playing in the World Baseball Classic. And I was super excited about the one that I knew. The other one I didn't know about because it happened right before our show. And I was super excited. I was like, and of course, the person that's not excited is Thunder. What else is new, right? Hey, he's not happy about it. And I read the tweet from Mitch Thunder Nellis on X about him not being happy about Terang going to be in the World Baseball Classic or whatever. Charlie's like, yeah, but wait. And then Charlie made a point to me that I had not thought of. I was like, damn, that's a good point of why somebody may not be happy about this. We're going to just see where Brewer fans are on this, because the comparison that Charlie made is a fascinating one. That's up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And in a world of tenders, Wendy's decided to make something more juicy, more crispy, and more dippable. New chicken tenders are here. Some may call them tendies, and yes, it's fun to say, and even more fun to eat. Wendy's new chicken tendies come with an insane new sauce lineup. New Wendy's signature. It's on fire. It's got a little cake. It's delicious. New sweet chili, a new scorching hot, or choose one of the classics, honey barbecue, creamy ranch, or honey mustard. Whatever you choose, they're the perfect vessel to dip all your tendies in. Wendy's new chicken tenders are so juicy, crispy, and dippable, you'll remember them forever. Gotta have tendies. It's gotta be Wendy's. Welcome in, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Sparky here, Charlie Usen over there. And you can check us out right now on X or on YouTube at WI Sports Radio. We're there on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere you want us to be on social media. And also later at night, where shows are done, 5 to 6 is Wisconsin Sports Wrap-Up coming up next with Tommy Words. Great show. Wraps up the best of what happened during the day on this network. But also later at night, you'll see the different shows posting stuff on social media about their best clips from earlier in the day. Brandon Snide does a great job of posting audiograms on social media at night. Something that stood out that was cool in the 9 to noon show with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff. We'll post stuff. Charlie will post stuff at night as well. Josh Albrecht will post stuff. Don't forget, speaking of Josh Albrecht, Doug Gottlieb, Green Bay Phoenix basketball head coach, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., fresh off the chair throwing incident. Cannot wait to hear what that is. He's on with them every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. So it's going to be fun to hear what Trevor and Josh and Doug Gottlieb have to say tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Okay, so there was news earlier today in Brewers land that our guy, Bryce Terang, Brewers second baseman, Platinum Glove Award winner a couple of years ago, has been picked and has agreed to play for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. Then Charlie tells me that our guy William Contreras will not be playing for Team USA, but it sounds like he's going to be playing in the World Baseball Classic.
Reports from Omar Lopez, the manager for Team Venezuela, said he spoke to William Contreras about a week ago about his desire to play in the World Baseball Classic. Contreras is coming off surgery on the middle finger of his catching hand, but has resumed workouts, and he's doing good.
Beautiful. So those are two guys that very well could be playing in the World Baseball Classic. We don't know about Churio yet. We haven't heard anything on Churio.
Well, it might be a few other guys going to other places.
Who knows?
Too. You never know.
Freelick played for Italy last year, right? Or the last time they had the World Baseball Classic. So we'll see where these guys all end up. So on Twitter, I quote tweeted the Bryce Terang thing at Sparky Radio on Twitter, and I put yes. Right? I was like, all right, Bryce Terang, World Baseball Classic. I love the World Baseball Classic. Love it. I don't care who's playing. I just love watching it. There's emotion, there's passion, there's energy. You can feel it coming off of the TV set. So I was all fired up. And here comes Thunder. Bryce Terang, he wore down at the end of the year. Why do you want him playing even more baseball than he would be playing already? Because remember, this happens in spring training, right? It happens during spring training. So this isn't something that happens in like January. This happens in spring training. These guys get all pulled away from the spring training camps to go get ready and play in this World Baseball Classic. And being in a competitive game is much different than being in a spring training game. It's not even remotely close as far as the intensity level and everything else. Like, you're in full game, regular season mode, or at least that's what you're expected to be in at that point. So I bring it up to Charlie. I'm like, man, what is Thunder's problem? Why can't he just be happy? We got a Brewer in the World Baseball Classic for Team USA. Like, how cool is that? Charlie, what did you say?
I said, Sparky, let's pump the brakes here a little bit. I seem to remember somebody by the name of Steven over there being pretty mad at Giannis Antetokounmpo for going to play in the FIBA World Cup for Greece and worrying about injuries with Giannis Antetokounmpo playing for Greece in that. Talking about him coming off that injury from the playoffs. Yep. And William Contreras is doing the same thing in this. Bryce Terang, like Mitch Thundernellis said, slowed down a little bit the second half of the season. There's a lot of potential for injury. I mean, isn't that a problem for you too?
So this is a question. You have my back, people. I need you to have my back with Charlie over here. People get mad when Giannis plays in international tournaments, like yours truly. Are you mad at Brewers players like Bryce Terang and potentially William Contreras and others for playing in the World Baseball Classic? Nicolay Law, talking text line, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250, on the socials at WI Sports Radio. Now, you can help me anywhere you want. Green Bay, Appleton, Wausau, Duluth Superior, Southeastern Wisconsin. If you're watching on X and you're in some other state or some other country, feel free. You can call in. You can leave a message on YouTube or on X. You can help me in any way, shape, or form here against Charlie Usen. I'm needing your help. I'll tell you the difference in this mind of mine.
All right.
It's just a scary place sometimes. If they lose Bryce Terang, say that goes sideways, I get Made. If they lose Contreras, I get Cuero. See, I understand Made may not be Terang right now, but he's really good at the top of his game in the minors, and he's going to come up, and we'll see what happens. I understand Cuero isn't Contreras, but he's one of the top catching prospects in baseball, and he's going to come up and get to play right now. If I lose Giannis, see lately, it's over. It's all done. There's nobody that's coming in to replace him. There's nobody even remotely close to replacing him. It's a wrap. Cancel Christmas. Let's go home. That's where we're at on Giannis. To me, that's my difference in my mentality. Because Charlie had me. Because I was like, well, damn. I mean, he's right. I can't really argue. Why do I get mad about this, not mad about the other? But that is why I feel like, because for a lot of these positions, even Frelick, we've got outfielders. Like, I don't feel like anybody that's playing. Now, if it's Woodruff, that'd be different. Because you don't have a Woodruff to replace a Woodruff.
I think he would not choose to play in this, his own personal injury history.
Okay,
yeah.
So that would be different. Like, I'd be kind of miffed if Woodruff went to play in this on a one-year deal, being hurt for the last 3 years. That I would be miffed about. But Terang, Contreras, Frelick, if he plays, or whoever it may be, I'll give you another one, but they don't have an answer for. They don't have an answer for Andrew Vaughn right now.
Mm-hmm.
If something happens to Vaughn, they don't have an answer at first. So I might be a little concerned there. But Terang with Made, Contreras with Cuero, I feel like I'm okay there if something were to go wrong. And it's a position player, not a pitcher necessarily. So yeah, ACL, Achilles, possibly. Don't really hear of a lot of Achilles injuries in baseball. Don't even really hear of a ton of ACL injuries in baseball either. That tends to be more of a football thing more than anything else. So from a position player standpoint, I feel pretty good that if it's a high ankle sprain or whatever, takes him out for the rest of spring training, fine. No big deal. We'll be fine. If he doesn't come back until June, still good, still all right, not the end of the world. So I feel like that's the difference for me. What about you? People get mad when Giannis plays in international tournaments. Are you mad? Are you going to be mad that there are some Brewers that are going to be in this World Baseball Classic? Bryce Terang for Team USA. William Contreras is going to play. What about you? Nikolai Law talking text line 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250.
I think the other side of this too is that most people were under the impression that Greece and Giannis, even with Giannis on that team, weren't going to do very much in that FIBA World Cup. And I think that changes people's minds in this too, when they're thinking, well, there's no reason to go out and do this. If you're playing for a bronze medal, which is what they ended up winning, this is a situation where it just can't be worth it. I think when you look at a Bryce Terang, even a William Contreras for Venezuela, you probably reasonably think they have a shot to go and win the World Baseball Classic. So if you can go out there and win it, then maybe it's worthwhile too. The other question that I have for you, does this change if instead of Bryce Terang and William Contreras, two guys who, again, may not be part of the long-term plan of this team, if it's Jacob Mizorowski and Jackson Churio in their spots instead, are you more angry about that because those guys could potentially be part of the long-term plan?
No, because they're really young. I don't get as worried about that. Obviously, Churio goes down. That's a big hit to this lineup, right? Mizorowski, because he's a pitcher, I get more concerned about with elbows and shoulders and that type of stuff. I would get concerned on that too. I would think Mizorowski, unless his career gets derailed here, will at some point pitch for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. Like, I feel like that's going to happen and probably happen regularly going forward once he figures this out. I would think Churio's going to be in every World Baseball Classic probably for the rest of his career. I think that comes with it. Made, probably, if he's as good as we all think he is, some think he's better than Churio, he's probably going to be World Baseball Classics too. You're going to have a loaded team, a stacked team with a lot of great talent at reasonable prices. This is going to be kind of part of the game that comes along with it. On the 262 Nikolai Law talking text line says, a load management. NBA players can't play even every game in an NBA season. Well, yeah, sure. That's a fascinating point as well, right? These guys that play international games after the season's over can play 82 games in the regular season because their bodies, can't worry. But then you go play in the Olympics or you go play international play with all these additional games in the summer and then come strolling back in at the end of September and then go try and play a full season and then go, sorry, I can't do it. I mean, that is kind of double talk a little bit.
And I think that's the other side of this too, that and the MLB, I think you see a lot of these guys go play in World Baseball Classic, give it their all there too, but then come back to the MLB regular season and still give it their all. I think in the NBA, a lot of fans notice when players go and play really hard for their team in the FIBA World Cup, but then come back to their NBA team and only play half a season. I mean, that's really weird to a lot of people. Like a guy like Joel Embiid who went and played for the USA in the last FIBA World Cup.
Oh, that guy's always hurt. That's
comes back to Philadelphia and it just can't stay on the floor or isn't producing at that same level. And a lot of the times people blame his work ethic in situations like that.
But again, that's another guy, like you said, can't stay on the floor. He should not have been in any type of international game whatsoever because he can't stay healthy regardless. There are some guys, Gary Mitchell, that can't stay healthy. So you don't want them playing extra games at this point because they can't stay healthy during the regular season. So that is a whole nother conversation. But that's the issue with Giannis. Dude's always hurt. Every postseason, seemingly, the guy gets hurt and can't play in the postseason or during the regular season. He's out here again. I mean, from that perspective, when you look at it, you're like, oh, come on, man. Why are we having more wear and tear on your body for unnecessarily? But Giannis, in my mind, is different than a lot of these cats. Like, I don't think a majority of these guys that go play in the USA basketball team could give two rips about winning a gold medal for their USA team. They'd much rather win an NBA title than worry about winning a gold for USA basketball. And with Giannis, with all due respect, I can't yell and scream about him wanting to go play for Greece because for him, way more important than winning squat in the NBA. I mean, he could say, I want to win another NBA title or two. Sure. But if I said, Giannis, you're going to suck in Milwaukee for the next 10 years, but you're going to win a gold in Greece. You want it? Bet you money. He says, hell yes. Bet you money. He says, absolutely. I get a gold in Greece. He's already a legend in Greece, but now you're at a whole nother stratosphere of how people will worship Giannis going
like
forward.
A Greek god. Yeah. He'd be right up there with Zeus and Poseidon up there, man.
Yes. I mean, that's what it would be. So his dedication, his love for that country, in a lot of ways, is way deeper than what it is with a lot of these guys that are going to go play for Team USA. Just is, especially guys that have already won a gold medal and are just going back to do it again.
Which I think a lot of the World Baseball Classic as well, it just feels like every player that is going there feels like they want to win a championship for whatever team that they're playing for. It feels like it matters a lot to a lot of these guys, the way they talk about it. I just wonder if that's going to change moving forward here because this does still feel like, I know it's been going on forever, but it feels brand new, the type of hype that's around the World Baseball Classic again.
The World Baseball Classic, I'd watch that over the Baseball Olympics any day of the week. I'd watch the World Baseball Classic over the NBA players playing in the Olympics any day of the week. I'd watch the World Baseball Classic over any regular season game you want to put in front of me and probably most playoff games that you're going to put in front of me. I mean, I'm sorry. The energy and everything around it is totally different. If you've never watched and you're like, made up crap, I'm not watching that. I'm telling you, a lot of those guys care more about that than they care about this in the regular season. A lot of them. They would rather go win that for their country than worry about, being a wild card team on their Major League Baseball team. For a lot of them.
Well, a lot of these guys are getting more out of this, even like financially for some of these players than they do with their MLB contracts too. So there's more to it in that short period of time than in a 162 game season.
Speaking of money, Potawatomi Sportsbook is there for you, right? If you want to go lay down a couple of shekels, whether it be on baseball or basketball or football or hockey or UFC, they got the fight nights on there. That's where you want to go. Potawatomi Sportsbook in Milwaukee, in the Menominee Valley. That is where it's all about. Yeah, they got shuttles to and from Bucks games as well. But when you're in that sports book and you're looking up 2,000 square foot screen, you got 30 different sporting events, couple hundred seats there, 2 levels, Potawatomi Sportsbook, kitchen, 48 beers on tap, dozen different specialty cocktails, homemade desserts and pastries, all kinds of food, all day brunch. You got wraps, burgers, wings, you name it, they've got it at the Potawatomi Sportsbook kitchen, including that John Kuhn platter, which we will see what happens tomorrow because 9 to noon with John Kuhn at the Potawatomi Sportsbook studios inside the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the second level. John Kuhn, Rami Makloff will be there. Then after they're done, noon to 2, our guys, Mitch Thunder and Ellis and Tommy Wirtz will be there from noon till 2. Charlie has issued the challenge for one of those two, Thunder or Tommy.
Thunder too. I was more Tommy, but yeah.
Yes, either one of them to finish off one of those John Kuhn platters.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I think it should be easy for both. Both of them could do it.
You think both of them can do it?
Yeah. I guess Tommy probably can't do it, so I'd just be Mitch. Yeah.
Because of the keto diet?
Yeah, he's a cool guy now. Yeah.
Does that make him cool?
I don't know, man. Maybe.
The coolest thing I've seen Tommy Wirtz do is bring the date who he brought to the Christmas party. That was the coolest thing Tommy Wirtz has done since he's worked here. If we're being honest, that was the coolest thing he's done.
He missed less than double-digit games throughout the entire Brewers season on the leadoff show. That's pretty cool. That was cooler than that.
I guess he did his job. Sure. Yeah, of course. No. Don't bring up work stuff about why he. No.
I think he's a pretty cool guy because of that.
No. He's got a good work ethic. I guess nowadays maybe everybody doesn't have good work ethic. Tommy Wirtz has remarkable work ethic. So does Charlie Usen and a lot of guys that work here. But no, that doesn't make you cool. That just means you were raised right. That's all that means.
Fair.
Charlie Usen over there, Steve Sparky. Pfeiffer coming up next. Things Sparky missed. Brought to you by the Milwaukee Admirals. Up next, it's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Sparky here, Charlie Houston over there. Wisconsin Sports wrap-up coming up 5 to 6. The big old hunk of love. And Mr. Cool Keto Guy, according to Charlie Houston. Tommy Wirtz from 5 until 6. You saw how he was dressed right now. You change your mind on the whole cool thing. I'll just leave it at that.
He looks like a cool
What
rapper.
story did Sparky miss talking about today on Wisconsin Sports Daily? Don't you worry. Sparky's got you covered now. Don't miss Milwaukee Admirals hockey this season. Don't just buy tickets. Invest in memories at MilwaukeeAdmirals.com.
All right, so a couple of different things here. There's a website called Awful Announcing. They're suggesting that Toyota should continue their Toyota-thon sale through the Super Bowl to see just if that really is the difference. If Jordan Love could go win a Super Bowl, if it really is all about the Toyota-thon sale. Nobody fell into that money more than Jordan Love did. Like, happy coincidence, somebody figured this whole thing out, and next thing you know, like, he's their leading endorser, their guy, the whole thing. Wasn't he wearing something Toyota-thon related on McAfee today?
Yeah, it was a jacket that was like a Carhartt jacket or whatever, but it had Toyota-thon plastered on the front of it.
Brilliant.
And they gave out those like trading cards earlier when it first started with like pieces of a sweater he wore that were cut into him. Like, that's awesome. They're just geniuses.
Absolutely brilliant. Another thing that we missed today, Phillip Rivers coming to the Colts, who we all know I root for as well at age 44. Shane Steichen, who is the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, was his quarterback coach for the Chargers 100 years ago. And now comes back Rivers, who was coaching high school football for the last several years. Yes, I said several years. For the last several years down in Alabama, running Steichen's offense that he's running in Indianapolis. And him and Steichen apparently would talk every week about things he could do differently with his high school offense going forward. So there's a huge relationship here. And I forgot who I was talking about earlier. Far, I promise you could probably throw the ball 45 or 50 yards right now, as old as he is. There's no question Rivers' arm is still as good as it was prior. That's not the issue. The question that I have is, mentally, with the speed of the game, will he be able to react the same way after having been out of the game for so long, Charlie?
Well, and he doesn't exactly have an easy schedule coming up here either. They got the Seahawks next and the 49ers and the Jaguars and the Texans.
Yeah.
That's 4 huge battles for this team coming up.
And 3 of those defenses are really, really good at this point, right? I mean, I don't know about the Jaguars, but the other 3 are pretty good defenses.
Well, and how much do you got to hate Riley Leonard, man? Like, if you're the Colts.
Riley Leonard, hold on. Riley Leonard works with Phillip Rivers in college. So Rivers is his mentor. That's the other thing. Rivers gets to come in and kind of like help coach him in this offense. So if he can't play, then okay, Rivers will get to play. But I think they're going to let Riley Leonard try and keep this job with Rivers there, helping him watch film, study, and get ready for games.
Just as an emergency plan in case Riley Leonard goes down.
So after every possession, he comes off, sits down on the bench with Phillip Rivers, and they talk about what happened. I think that's kind of what's going on.
Well, and after all of this, man, like Anthony Richardson has to be done there. Like this is such a debacle right now with this whole situation. Like, yeah, it's fine for Colts fans, but yeah, I mean, this is the worst case scenario for them. And I'd be mad at Anthony Richardson for hitting himself with a elastic band.
Yeah,
being out now.
Things Sparky missed. Brought to you by the Milwaukee Admirals. Sparky, Charlie Houston got about a minute or so left. MLB draft lottery tonight. I don't have time to get into the odds and all that fun stuff. We'll see what happens. We can talk about that a little bit tomorrow. Monday Night Football last night. What is going on with the Philadelphia Eagles? I need to know. How does Jalen Hurts throw? I'm watching that game at home last night, just going, what is going on? You had 3 interceptions by Jalen Hurts. The one play, there was 3 turnovers on one play. He threw a pick, then he fumbled the ball He turned over the ball twice on one possession. Either way, 3 turnovers. You get to overtime, and you throw? Down 3, you throw. You don't let Saquon be the guy. Saquon was running the ball good last night, and you ignore it, and then a tip ball happens. You lose the game on an interception, and it's all done. I'm sorry. Nick Sirianni, you need to take play calling back over. Like, that's enough is enough. You need to take play calling back over, or the Eagles are really going to be in jeopardy of screwing this whole thing up. That'll do it for Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here, back at it again tomorrow at 2. Wisconsin Sports Wrap-Up next with Tommy Wirtz here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Good night, Wisconsin.